Hello and welcome to the Yerky Boys. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. My name is Will.
My name is Jonathan.
And we are the Yerky Boys. Here for episode 4 of the TV show, On the Run.
Which aired September 29th, 1998.
Or possibly the 25th.
Listen, I'm going by IMDb now, and they only have
Okay.
one date, and that's what I'm going by.
Okay, Google has 2 dates, but they're both September 25th.
What the fuck?
I can't listen, I think you're probably right. We should just pick one, and maybe it should be IMDb, because then it would just be one.
Yeah, it's just one.
Yeah.
On the Run. Marco on the run.
Okay.
Jake on the run.
I just want you to know that he stole that from me. I did that before the show. It wasn't his idea.
No, okay.
It's my idea.
2 things. First of all, I've been doing it. I was doing it all week.
I
just
doubt
went
that.
around.
I think this is stolen valor.
Second of all, you did the tune so bad, I had to come on and do it to demonstrate to you how it's actually done.
Right. Well, that's why I didn't do it on the show.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's what you get. That's what you get. Somebody's got to bring their A game to this show.
Listen.
Come on. We can't. This isn't a musical show. Well, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is. Is it today or no?
Today is not one of those times.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's disappointed now. They were getting excited.
Well, listen, I was a little sick this week. My voice might still be a little hoarse. I'm not now. Don't get any ideas. I'm not Cassie turning into a horse or nothing.
Right. You're not like Blue.
I just might be a little. Just brace yourselves, listeners, and I'm hungry. I didn't eat anything.
My favorite episodes are the ones where you start off for apologizing for how bad it's going to be.
Yeah, well, it's more like I just want to complain. I want everyone to know that I'm angry and I'm upset and anxious and annoyed.
Okay.
And
well, now they know. Now they know.
You know what's interesting about today's episode that we're discussing?
What is interesting about it?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but in the episode, there is a sharing meeting.
Right. That's true.
Sort of a funny coincidence. Because before we start talking about it, I think we're going to have a sharing meeting of our own.
The sharing.
That's right, folks. It's time for another round of listener emails from you, the listeners.
Yay.
We always welcome your thoughts and feedback about our show or about Animorphs in general at theyerkyboys@gmail.com. And this week is no exception.
What's going on over there?
We got a new email in from one of our favorite listeners, definitely in the top 10, Lane.
Hi, Lane.
Come on down. Okay.
All right, you don't sound very tired over there.
This is called overcompensating.
Okay.
This is kind of a long email, so I guess I'll read it all.
That's fine. That's normal.
Lane writes, "Hi boys, capital B. I'm back with another long one. Buckle up, chuckleheads. Celebrating emoji. You know, with the party hat and the party blower. I don't know. Would you call that what would you call that? Party emoji?
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Okay. I feel like my voice is already cracking, right? It's bad.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. You'll fix it in post.
You're right. Lane continues, I'm enjoying your coverage of the TV episodes so far. I never really watched the TV series as a kid/teen, though I think I've seen at least a couple of episodes on YouTube once before. So listening to you boys discuss what goes on in each episode allows me to live vicariously through you. So thanks for that, winking emoji. I guess that means you're not actually watching the show, you're just listening to us regurgitate it, which is probably fine. This part I like, because it's about how I'm right and you're wrong.
Oh, well, I don't think you can skip that part.
I think Will certainly is too critical and has too high of standards for the production for the series. I think you're a bit too close to the series and your ideas of it, but I do get where you're coming from. Book adaptations are almost never satisfactory. I think to get what he's looking for, they would have had to go the animation route. Still baffles me why they didn't, aside from maybe they thought the teenage demographic wouldn't want to watch a cartoon? Either that or have a much larger budget, which I agree with Jonathan, that they most certainly were doing their work with a shoestring sum. Considering it was a show using limited 90s production equipment and available special effects, I can say they probably did their best. Like Jonathan said, you also got to consider that Nickelodeon likely also didn't want to have the show too thematically dark. So upping the scare factor in an action sci-fi series for kids and young teens probably wasn't even an option at the time, not to mention all the strict TV censors that likely disallowed use of guns, excessive violence, etc. Can't traumatize the kids too much. Zipper closed mouth emoji. While I do wish that sort of stuff had been there, I think in order to get that, the series would need to be adapted as some sort of HBO or CNW/similar series. I don't know what CNW. Does that mean CW? Is that just a typo? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was going to say CW is what I thought you were going to say. And then there was an N in there.
It's a Canadian website, or maybe that's like is that a porn thing? CNW? That's like clothed, nude women.
What the fuck?
Anyway, Lane continues. Maybe even a Netflix series, a la Stranger Things, in order to really get the correct themes and a better budget. I think it would be interesting to hear how you both would do the series if it were adapted for modern audiences with modern quality TV/streaming series. Okay, let's put a pause here. There's a bit more of the email to go.
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem is that I do have a little bit of a response to that, but like it would actively segue into the episode, and I have a feeling we're not nearly done with this email.
Yeah, so I mean, you could say, but is there anything interesting? So you have a response specifically, I assume, to the part that's directed at you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can reiterate to some degree what I said before, and I might not have said it clearly before because I, could have just been rambling. But there is listen, I know it was done on like not that much of a budget, and yeah, it's a kids thing. They have to tone down some of the stuff in it. I just think that like I mean, first of all, I am gauging it more on like, am I actually enjoying it, and not on like, do I think they did a good job? So like, if it was the best they could do, but it's not hitting for me, then I'm not going to care it was the best they could do. Which maybe that's not fair of me, but that's what I'm judging. The second part is that if they can't do some of the darker themes or some of the action, then I think that they should probably just do a very different iteration of the story. Like, it doesn't need to be book accurate exactly, but like if they aren't going to be able to do a good job on the book, it should be not at all. And I do think that's relevant to today's episode because I mean, we
Don't go too
we can't
far.
segue yet, but I will just say today's episode is like not based on any book whatsoever, as far as I can tell.
I
It's
read
just an
one that's
entirely
not like
original
it.
story.
No, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, should they have done like the Beetlejuice cartoon?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I was just thinking like smaller things like Visser 3's not even on Earth. He's only here in hologram form. There just aren't Hork-Bajir. It's all controllers, because you
Right.
can use get rid of a lot of that cool high concept sci-fi stuff and just do it's just a bunch of people being weird at each other because they're controlled body snatchers type. I don't know. But you're right. It could be entirely different, and maybe I would like that too. So,
Yeah, just a crazy.
yeah.
Like I feel like they did that with so many cartoons in the 90s, like The Mask and I mean Ace Ventura. a lot of Jim Carrey. I guess Ghostbusters, kind of like the real Ghostbusters or whatever. Like just take that concept and just do something completely.
Am I completely out of the loop? What do you mean Ace Ventura? Was there an Ace Ventura cartoon that I do not know about?
There sure was, and I guess you don't.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I gotta circle back to that one for a second. Okay, well, I'm glad I know that.
Yeah, I mean, that one is a lot closer to what the movie was, I would say.
Okay.
But it's just more kid-friendly is the big thing.
Sure. Sure.
Anyway, I also, yeah, I mean, I think it's as long as we know where you're coming from, I think it's perfectly fine for you to be giving your reactions purely based on like, do I like this? Yes or no? Like,
Mhm.
it's not your job to understand the plight of the crew necessarily.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to I don't know if I'm even trying to be more sympathetic. I just am more like I guess I'm trying to picture what would my reaction be if I were watching this in 1998 when I was 10
Mhm.
years old. And for you
Yeah.
you didn't like it then even.
Right,
But
yeah, and
I would have liked it.
yeah, that's fair, and I would've, like, I'm totally willing to say that, like, my opinions as a kid do not necessarily translate, but I also think that Lane is right that there's an element of me being too close to it that I think informs our difference in perspective too, because
Mhm.
yeah, like you just, as you said before, you just read the series for the first time, and now you're like, oh, cool, there's a show too. I get to watch that. Let's see. And
Right.
whereas I'm like, oh yeah, there's this show or there's this series that I love and means a lot to me, and I think a lot. All right, they adapted it. All right, let's see what they did. I hope it's lives up to my expectations. Right? It's a very different.
It's also, I mean,
Yeah.
now we're repeating ourselves from
Yeah.
last week, but there is part of it that's like it's done. Like there's nothing I
Hmm.
can do about this. The product is what it is, and that will never change. As opposed to like if it were new, I might be like, "Oh my god, I hope they fix. I hope they change this next season or something." But it's like it just exists. Like I don't know, I can't does that make sense? I don't
I
know.
mean, okay, here's the thing. You say there's nothing you can do, but you're absolutely wrong about that. You can complain about it. You opened this episode saying that you like complaining. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, I also complained plenty about the books too, so it's not like I don't know. There is I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's because the books were like the real deal and this is just some bullshit. I
That's
don't know.
fair.
All right. Like this doesn't, if an episode sucks, it doesn't affect the canon of the series the way that a book does.
That's true. Yeah.
At any rate, we'll talk a lot. We'll be talking about that more for the next, 20 episodes or whatever. So get
Hmm.
used to it. I do. Well, I'm just going to read more of the email right now. Ahem.
Ahem.
Before I forget, Lane writes, I found it hilarious to hear your reactions to the first Alternamorphs book. The Goose Buds podcast actually tried to read through that. I think they gave up after the first few chapters, though, since it was so slow and tedious to read through. Laughing sweat drop emoji. I remember reading it as a kid, but couldn't remember a single thing that happened in it, which makes sense because it was super forgettable. I did remember a bit of the ending for the second Alternamorphs, though, which did seem like a comparatively much better read. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like you bringing up Goosebuds. Fuck off with that shit.
Yeah. That's. I mean, it's not another Animorphs podcast, but it does still kind of feel like we're being cheated on.
Now, I just gave a plug to a competing podcast.
Ugh.
Lil aside, Lane writes. Now this part you're really gonna like.
Okay. Good. I better.
I don't think I've mentioned before, but when I first found your podcast, I first thought, oh great, another white man podcast trying to cover Animorphs.
Hell yeah. That's us, baby.
But then I saw you had your first interview with KA and decided that I might as well give you a try and listen from your first episode till then, in order, as all people should,
Hell
to
yeah.
hear who I assumed was the real deal Applegate at the time. Of course, by the time I got that far, I already had a strong feeling that wasn't the case. A couple of emojis. By that time, though, I'd also grown to have a love-hate relationship with your bickering and banter, and I was too hooked to stop listening. So you got me there, clown emoji.
Yeah, we're two of the good ones.
Isn't that amazing that we just tricked poor
We
Lane
fucking
into
we clickbaited them.
I mean, that is funny. It is, and yes, we are. Look, I wish we weren't white men. I really do.
No,
But
you
it's
don't. Come on.
okay. I mean, well, you know,
It's by
sometimes.
far the easiest way to be.
I mean, sure. But yeah, you're right.
Like, if you had to choose, you know what I mean? Like, would you
Yeah,
really choose for it to be more
right,
difficult when you could just kind of
right.
be the default?
Reminds me of a bit from a comedian I won't mention.
Hmm.
Let's just say he might be a white man too.
I feel like this is now venturing into problematic territory.
What can I say? I'm a white man. I've got my proclivities. You can't stop listening now. You like
It's
us now. You're
That's true.
hooked.
You're invested.
Anyhow, Lane continues and concludes. That's all for now. I'm looking forward to when you get to the graphic novel adaptations. I think they adapt the books they did pretty well. And it's a shame that they won't get to the end. Your fan, Lane. P.S. I'm going to message the Anadorks podcast now just to spite you. Tongue out winking emoji. Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, listen, I'm okay with getting cucked as long as you tell us first and it's like all part of if it's just like a
Mm.
role play, as long as it's not like you're actually cheating on us.
Right, right, right.
And I'm kind
If
of
any
into it.
if any of the Anadorks ever hear this, by the way, I hope you fall down a manhole and break your neck. um yeah. Anyway, it's great that we tricked someone to listen to our podcast. Is it? It's not technically. Is it official that the graphic novels are not getting to the end? I thought that was technically still up in the air.
I mean,
Like
uh,
they haven't officially been not reordered. Am I wrong, or did they say?
yeah, I don't think they've been officially not reordered, but they're coming out like one
Right.
every 6 months.
Yeah.
Uh, they haven't ordered any past the next one that's coming out 6 months from now, which is number six. Like, there
Right.
is no way they could, like, maybe they'll put out even a couple more, but like, they are not putting out 48 more.
I'm just saying. It's never say never.
All right, well, we'll see.
I
It's
mean,
possible. Listen,
I
I'd
mean,
rather have more Animorphs, like official Animorph stuff, but
I'm guessing that yeah, you're probably right. By the time we get to the graphic novels, they'll probably be complete, but we'll see. Okay, we also have one more quick one here from Steven.
damn, we're not even done yet. Jesus.
I know. Here's the problem with well, I'm going to read his email and then we'll tell you the problem with it.
I think I listen. We both already know the problem with Steven.
Yeah. Steven writes, "Hey Yerky boys. So far you've done a decent job padding out these episodes, but here's a quick discussion question in case you need more. You've said, and I agree, that Animorphs would probably work better as an animated show. But what would you want that animated version to actually look like? Stylized or realistic? Simplistic or detailed? 2D or 3D? Is there a particular animated show or movie that has a style that you think would be perfect for Animorphs? Also, would your answer differ depending on whether we were talking about your dream Animorphs remake of today, or whether you had to pick a style that already existed in the late 90s? I would love to have seen what Butch Hartman, creator of Danny Phantom, or is it? I can never remember. Is it Gendy Tartakovsky?
I believe that's right, Gendy. I think
Okay,
maybe.
or Gendy Tartakovsky, creator of Samurai Jack, could have done with it. And I know that Klasky Chupo could have created some of the most horrifying morphing animations imaginable, considering the way they animate normal humans.
That is true.
Keep up the good work." So Lane also referenced the animation
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah,
And
we've mentioned it several times too.
the reason I'm a little hesitant here is because it's pretty much confirmed on the schedule now for once we're done with the show. We're going to do a whole episode where we talk about kind of our personal dream visions of an
Mhm.
adaptation of of what Animorphs would look like. So I don't want to like go too deep into this, but I guess we could just talk about strictly answering this question because that's not too
Yeah.
much. And
Who
like,
knows? Maybe we'll finish the show and I'll be like, you know what? I do want it live action. I want it more like the show. Then you never know.
yeah, and also there's more detail to go into there. But if we
Mhm.
did want to make it animated, Yeah, what's when you, like, close your eyes and imagine the animated version of Animorphs, what does that look like in your head?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to 3D animation. I would prefer it not be 3D animation because I just have that, I don't know, desire for that. I'm not gonna lie. Tartakovsky did pop into my head as like that would be interesting. I don't know if that's the ideal way to do it, but it would be like visually interesting, and I know he could actually do it like well in a way that I would like to look at. So like that did pop into my head.
Yeah, I mean, I love him, but
Hmm.
I don't really feel like to me his style doesn't isn't how I picture an Animorphs show.
Yeah. To me, it feels like what's off with the style is less the style and more the way that like all of his stuff is a lot quieter and like I feel like Animorphs doesn't have that kind of energy. There's a lot more dialogue, a lot more moving, a lot more doing stuff. Um but like
Yeah.
you could do it you could like as long as you had somebody else doing this like scripts. I don't know.
Yeah, or, I mean, he said, Butch Hartman. I also am not I don't really I don't feel like that art style I don't love either. It's
Yeah,
not
that one I wouldn't go for.
I'm thinking I mean, honestly, like, the kinda look of the wild thornberries is maybe which I guess is Klasky is that Klasky Chupo? I don't know if that was I forget, but
It is,
Or
isn't it?
like maybe it is because I'm also thinking of like as told by Ginger, I guess because that's like it takes place in a high school or a middle school or something. Which those people look fucking disgusting on that show, so I don't really want it to
Mhm.
look like that. But I'm thinking of a more yes, I'm much more partial, especially for TV, to a traditional 2D animated look. I guess you could say like I wouldn't want it to. It's easy to come up with what I wouldn't want it to look like more than what I would want it to look like.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be like a an Avatar kind of anime influenced look. I don't really feel like
Mhm.
that's right for it.
Yeah.
For the thing that I'm picturing in my head, the problem is it's a someone made if you search online like a fan animated minute long teaser for what isn't what's a fake animated series based on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show I like to mention a lot.
Okay, okay.
And but the problem is it's like it must be it's like inspired by other cartoons and I'm looking at it and I'm like what is the actual source of this that's not just
Mhm.
this fan animation? Maybe like Kim Possible or something. It kind of has that vibe. But that's not really right either. I don't know, man. Honestly, this is a hard question now that I actually have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. It's far easier to just veto and be like, "Nope, not that, not that," than it is to come up with something on the fly.
What about like we've talked about before, like the Men in Black, Jackie Chan Adventures cartoons, something in that vein?
I could see it for sure. Like, I guess
I
the thing
think,
is, I do want something like I think,
yeah,
if you're doing it animated, the best reason to do that is that you get to do all the wacky alien stuff. So you really need something that like is gonna bring out the fantastical like element, which doesn't mean
Rick
not
and
Jackie
Morty.
Chan adventures. I don't know. That's a little goofy. But like you get what I'm saying. Like I feel like whatever I would go for, I would want to think about like how are they going to do Hork-Bajir? How are they going to do Andalites? How are they going to do, bug fighters and taxons and all that stuff?
What about like like Batman animated series, the 90s
Mhm.
one?
Mhm. Mhm.
That might be a little too realistic to me. That might be a little too
Interesting.
far. I feel like it does have to be somewhat cartoony. I mean, maybe I'm
Yeah, I
maybe my
don't mind
memory
it
is
being realistic at all. Like that's kind of
mm.
fine for me as long yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is like it's based in our world. But
Mhm.
I think I guess I think that yeah, I don't know. The thing is the books are the subject matter is very dark at a certain point, but I think there needs to be some lightness there too. And if you
Mhm.
go too realistic, it could just be this too fucked up and weird. to enjoy on a certain level, which I know you would love. I know that's what you want, but
This is what I want.
I know you're a fucking freak. Honestly, everything about wild thornberries except for the people, like the backgrounds, the animals, the colors. That's
Mhm.
what I would want it to look and feel like. 100%. I just don't want the humans to look so fucked up and weird. So I guess that's my answer.
I see. So because you need like a more of a contrast between the normal looking humans and the like fucked up aliens and
Yeah,
morphs and
I
crazy
think
shit.
so. Yeah. Well, I don't want like Jake to have a weird giant mouth and like a football shaped head or whatever. Like
Mhm.
they're fucking weirdos on that show. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure this out.
Alright.
We have time to come up with a better answer for this.
Yes. Yes, we do.
All right. So thanks for those emails. Again, if you want to send us a question, you can, theyerkyboys@gmail.com, or you can check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/theyerkyboys, where we talk about other stuff on our bonus episodes. A lot of fun over there.
Sorry, I stopped listening to you for a second. I assume you did the plug.
Yeah, I did the plug.
Okay, cool.
Let's let's do the show.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Yerky
No, 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 no,
Boys.
no,
Oh.
no. No. Yeah, we just need to talk about the episode now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh yeah, as you said, 25th, September 25th. This has a new writer, some guy called Scott Peters, who we haven't seen
Hmm.
on the show before. I didn't recognize any of his shit.
Well, of course he's another Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark alum.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So that's important to say.
I guess that's true. That is important to say.
Actually, he wrote a lot for he was the creator of. Oh wow, interesting. He
Hmm?
was the creator of the modern remake, which is unfortunately for me no longer modern. It's 15 years old. Of V. I don't know if you, but I watched that show. It had because it
Oh,
had
interesting.
Miranda Baccarin from Firefly was on it. But
Okay. Yeah, I did see that and I was like, I didn't know that existed.
yeah, it's a sci-fi show, which I was
Sure.
not like great, but it was interesting. So that's I mean, honestly, of all the crew we've seen so far, it's only 4 episodes, but that feels like the highest profile thing I've seen on anyone's resume. Like, I'm actually very impressed by that.
All right. Well, I'm cool. This is an impressive episode
I
already.
don't
We're
know
off to a
what the
good start.
4400 is. I've heard of that, but he also worked on that. What's
Never
that?
heard of it.
I feel like that's big. I feel like people might be yelling at us in their cars.
Damn. Well, people I guess either know it or they don't. 4400 is a pretty big number. It's more than
Yeah.
like the 100. That's a show, right?
I don't know. Is it?
I think it is.
S Club 7?
So this is once again directed by Ron Oliver of the last episode Underground fame.
Hey, welcome back, Ronnie.
Welcome back, Ronnie. Uh,
2 first names this motherfucker has.
oh yeah, that's the sort of thing you notice.
Well, if you put him on my in front of me twice, I will. The first time I didn't notice. Actually, Scott Peters got 2 first names too. What the fuck? And you know who
Damn.
else does? Kind of,
Who?
if you squint.
Who?
The actress. Well, you know what? Maybe I won't spoil it. A new actress in this episode. Maybe we'll wait
Yeah,
till
I
we get
did
there.
see that. I wasn't sure if I should spoil it either.
Yeah. Well, I decided we aren't gonna.
Ooh, keep listening. It's too late now. You are gonna keep listening.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
weird. I
matter.
mean, at this point, once we're actually gonna start with the content, if you're like, nah, I'm done.
Sick of it. You're too many episodes in to stop now. All right. I guess there's an episode to talk about too.
On the run. Now, I don't. Maybe we should just talk about up front because you already
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Yes.
As you said, the fact that we are on the 4th episode of this series.
Hmm.
We just got through only the first book.
Hmm.
And immediately they are now whole cloth inventing new material.
Yes.
One book and they were like, we got to come up with something else. What do you make of this?
I don't honestly. There are a lot of decisions having to do with this episode that I find kind of baffling. Like, I
Well,
have a
okay.
little bit of a list going through when we
I,
get to the end that are like they're more specific. But yeah, I mean, what do you make of this? And this also had this is like third in production number. I don't know if that matters at all because it was probably written long before that. But
yeah, I'm gonna stop trying to figure out what what production
okay,
order means. Um, I think. Oh God. Oh,
you
sorry. Just
did
I'm just
right.
died a little bit. My throat. Okay, I'm good. I'll cut this out. I think the obvious explanation for this that again is going to keep coming up over and over is budget.
Hmm.
Yeah, the most the what do they call it? Axe's razor. The
Occam's,
axis.
yeah,
The
Axis
axis.
razor. Yeah, when
The
he's gonna give you the sweet or whatever.
that's
That's
it.
he
Yeah,
uses
yeah,
the Axis razor.
yeah. That's right. Axe's razor answer is invasion in spite of all the
Hmm.
tricks that they use to get around special effects still does have like certain elements. You must have aliens, you must show spaceships, you must have a yerk pool. There's
Hmm.
things you must do that you have to fit into the budget. So my guess is they were like, look, we can't go right into book 2 and do more morphing shit. We got to have kind of a filler episode that maybe we can it's not a bottle episode, but it's like not too many locations, not a lot of crazy shit going on. Something we can do that's not complicated. That's
Hmm.
my that's my assumption. It's not I
Now,
didn't expect it to happen so soon, but
yeah, it is a little strange to me that it happens so soon, and also the plot line is entirely about this disc, which in the show, the disc is nothing, right? It's just a disc that they were given. They don't know what it means. They don't know what's on it. They don't know why it's important. And in the books, the disc doesn't exist. So it is like it's also odd in the sense that it's just like I this episode doesn't tell me anything new about the disc. It doesn't progress that plot. Like it's just the disc. Right? Again, a very strange decision. Like what am I supposed to take away from this? If I don't know about the show, I guess I'm supposed to take away. I guess that disc sure is important. If I know the books, I'm like, what are they doing spending time on this disc? It is a very strange thing to do to kill time. But also, you're saying, oh yeah, we got to take a break from the books so that we can do easier stuff. But in book two, it's just like, um, most of that book, or at least the most interesting parts of that book, are like Rachel is turning into to Fluffer McKitty and sneaking into Melissa's house to spy on Chapman. So like it's mostly just
mm.
like family drama, some sharing stuff, Rachel turning into a cat and hanging out with Melissa. Visser 3 is a hologram, so you just kind of put his head in the hologram thing, which they do here anyway. It would be like easy like, you just, take out the scene at the beginning where Rachel gets sexually assaulted by some college students and turns into an elephant to stomp them, and take out the scene at the fight scene at the end where Marco like drives a Earth mover as a gorilla, and just make that a little bit simpler. Like Rachel turns into a cat and runs away. You know what I mean? Like you could very easily simplify this down into an extremely low budget. You need a trained cat, and that's about it type of story. So it's very strange to me that they skipped that one.
Well, we don't know that they skipped it. It could
Well,
still
that's true.
happen.
That's true. That's true. But I guess what I'm saying here is that, like, oh, we got to start. We can't do the full books every single time. What would have been the next book should have been a low budget option, I
Well,
think.
here's you raise good points. Here's two maybe possibilities that I'm thinking of.
Hmm.
Uh Number one, maybe they just felt like if they're gonna do the visitor, maybe they were like,
Hmm.
we want to introduce Melissa. We want to give her a little more time. Okay, I guess I spoiled it. She shows up in this episode.
Oh, Melissa. Yeah, I was wrong. I really was on the there's definitely no Melissa in this show train, and they got me.
They Melissa'd. They Melissa'd instead of zagging. And or maybe they just were like, oh, we also just want more Jake and Marco
Hmm.
together, and like the next, we're not ready to do Rachel
Yeah.
because we want boys to watch the show or something,
Sure,
maybe.
sure. There is a
Uh,
lot of boy focus.
yeah, they're
Maybe they
also
want girls to watch the show. Anyway,
although one boy not in focus at all, but we'll get to
no,
that.
we'll get
Um,
to that.
maybe another possibility, again, pure
Mhm.
speculation. Anyone who just looks at the Wikipedia could know if this is true or not. I'm just not going to. Maybe they had some kind of mandate of like, by the end of, we want this many seasons. Obviously, we know it barely made it through 2, but it's
Mhm.
like maybe originally they had this idea. We want the books to the show to last this long. We have this many books. By the end of season 1, we want to be at this point, but we have this many episodes. Like maybe they just needed some filler to fill out their plan for the show, and this was a place where it made sense to insert this particular filler. I don't know. That's just a
Yeah,
theory.
that
Could
could
was
be. That could be. Like it's not necessarily like wrong to just completely diverge here. It just is a little bit. It
it
is
doesn't
odd the story
yeah.
they told. I find it more odd the story they told to or chose to tell here than I do the fact that they chose to immediately put in something that wasn't in the books.
Right. Well, they do. I mean, the disc aside, they do take a couple of things that are maybe not specifically like from a book, but they're like
Mhm.
things, they're the types of things you
Yeah.
know from the books.
No, they do take the types of things you know from the books. That they do.
And also you are definitely right about the disc is just the most MacGuffin-y MacGuffin of all
Right?
time. It's it's almost parody levels,
Yeah.
like how
Yeah.
fucking completely inane, useless this thing is that they all want so badly. I
And because they kept showing it, I kept being like, even more so than before. I was just like, yeah, Happy Meal toy. I see it. I definitely see it
right.
now. That's what this is.
The holder is back in this episode. It's not just a disc anymore. We've got
Yeah.
the thing again.
Yeah, it's like a super high tech Happy Meal. It probably plays like a audio clip. The disc spins and Jake says a phrase. He says, "My name is Jake."
He probably says, "Hey kids, we're home early." That was for the Patreon listeners. Another thing I will say, even though yes, the decision is somewhat baffling, I also sort of like that it's already brand new content in a way,
Hmm.
because as a new viewer, I'm like, hey, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. This is
Hmm.
surprising and unpredictable and new content, which is in some ways preferable to just being like, yeah, they did the book, but a little worse.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. As long as you're doing that, like I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna a lot of times throughout this, I'm going to say I don't know why they chose to do it this way. This is completely baffling. These all feel like massive missed opportunities or mistakes. But honestly, I liked this episode. I was enjoying myself during it, and I did not mind that they went off script at all. I was like, yeah, give me more. Give me more of this.
I don't know if I enjoyed this episode. I honestly
I
don't
wouldn't blame
know.
you. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
I actually think a part of the issue is I'm too my brain is running too much watching this show so far, because
Mhm.
I'm constantly thinking about how is this different? What are they doing?
Mm.
What's that character doing? Are they setting up for this plot, or like what's that?
Mm.
And maybe I need to do like a another watch to sort of get a more pure viewing of it or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. I always do 2 watches. I do one right at the beginning of the week when I'm just like, I don't need to think about it or take notes or anything. I'm just gonna put this into my brain. I got a whole week before I have to talk about it, and I'll just have a reaction. And then at the end of the week, I do a rewatch where I actually like think about it and take notes. Because
That's too
like
much.
well, it's
No,
it's a
it's too
half hour.
It's no, that's yeah, well, it's 24 minutes times 2, 48 minutes. I could have watched a Justified. It's too long.
I'm just saying, I want the pure experience of just watching the show with no obligations so that I can react to it in that
Sure.
way.
Sure. I just don't like your methods. Let's talk about the episode.
Okay.
I mean, specifically.
Okay.
I mean,
Roller Mania.
yeah, immediately frame 1, I had to pause and be
Right?
like, Oh, there's stuff going on here.
Right? I'm on frame one. I'm looking at it right now.
We'll set the scene for the listeners. Marco and Jake are back in the arcade, I guess, right? It's the
I think
same
it's a
place.
cyber cafe.
Okay. Okay, sure. That's, I guess, makes more sense.
I guess. It's got a bunch of I don't even know if it's the same place. It does still look dingy and gross and filthy, and it's got a green tint over it, but it is like
It's got to
a
be the
bunch of
same place.
computers at booths, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But people
And
aren't gaming
you're right. I guess it's a more like a cyber cafe where you could play games.
or something, yeah.
Sure. Yes,
We
they're
haven't
at
even seen Marco and Jake yet, though. Frame one, we just see what Marco's looking at on the computer.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to make it more
Okay.
comprehensible.
Okay.
Yes, they are looking at rollermania.com, which for some reason the URL is not HTTP. It says file:/www.rollermania.com.
Okay, so that to me implies that what they did was well, no, because it wouldn't even say file. I was going to say, did they just make a page like called that and then load it up on a computer? But like, it wouldn't say file. It would like give the whole file path if they did that.
Well, look, I don't know how they did. I mean, this was 1998, so most people really didn't know what the
Yeah,
internet was. It was like just starting
right.
to be a thing that people understood. But I mean, the way they would do this now, I assume it's the same way. It's like nothing would be on this screen. The actors would just be pretending, and then they would fill it in later in post.
Mhm.
Um,
I do think that they did that for this episode. There is a part like later in this scene where Jake does something on the computer, and Marco's like, "Wait, what did you do? What did you just type?" And it's like, "Didn't you see it? I saw it."
yes, that happens pretty soon. Or actually, oh yeah, it's pretty soon. Um, yeah, nobody knows how things work. It's all made up because there's no internet. The internet is science fiction in this
Mhm.
universe. Even
It's
though
true.
I guess the books were earlier. And when was their first Web Access America? Was that like probably 97 or something, right? So,
That was book 16, so that would have been. I don't think they had any breaks, so that would have been what 6 months before this came out.
okay. Okay. So,
Although they
not
might have been on the internet before book 16. I don't know.
here and there they were. Well, I was thinking, yeah, anyway, roughly the same era. This homepage for Roller Mania, which I guess this is roller skates, right? Is that
Roller
what they're
blades, John.
But
Marco is cool.
aren't those wheels? Aren't I looking at pictures
Yeah,
of wheels?
roller
Aren't
blades have wheels.
What the fuck what's the difference between a skate and I guess I don't know what the fuck
S-
that means.
Skates have like four wheels, and they are. Okay, roller blades. You could also call them like inline skates. Right, like just a roller skate just has the two sets of wheels like a car, and the blade has four wheels like in a row along the bottom.
I guess I was thinking of an ice skate which has a blade, but it's
Hmm.
still called a skate still.
Yeah.
Explain that one.
Listen, I'm just saying, this is like skiing versus snowboarding. Marco's cool. He's a snowboarder. He's a roller blader.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up for the uncool people like me. I don't even know what the fuck a skate is. Um,
These are still skates. Let's be real.
okay. Um, anyway, is there anything else we need to say about this website? How about the fact that on the links on the side, the first one is home. Okay, sure. The home page makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
Next is links. So immediately, the first thing that this website wants you to do is navigate away from it.
Yeah,
That's
that should be at the bottom.
very poor design. Then there's tech. Does that mean like techniques? Like, or
I'm assuming that means like the actual product. Like, oh, let's get some new tech for my blades here. Like, check out these wheels because Marcos needs new wheels for his rollerblades, and he's looking at them. So I'm assuming that's what he means.
okay, now why would that be in a separate page from prices, which is the fourth option?
Yeah, no, that's prices is just weird. Not like shop or whatever. Like this is okay, you can go to the shop. If you want to know how much it costs, you have to click over to the prices page. Like what the fuck?
What? Yeah. What? Like, yeah. Is it a store or is this just a fan site? And they're like, these are what they cost. Go find them.
All right, so right now we are moving through this episode at a pace of 10 minutes per frame.
Well, have you ever heard of those 1 minute podcasts
I
where
have,
like
yeah.
yeah they'll do Star Wars but each episode is just 1 minute of the movie. Maybe we
Yeah.
do that for Animorphs.
Yeah, we'll do that for Animorphs and then we'll just do 24 of them.
2
at a time.
hours for each minute of the episode. If anyone can do it, it's us.
That's right. Yeah,
Uh,
fucking what is it? Marco they have a whole argument about whether these wheels have nylon or fiberglass cores, which gets repeated at the end, which I did like. I do honestly I like Jake and Marco a lot. They work.
yeah, and it's funny, but it's also maybe it's just because it's not the 90s and I'm not a rollerblader that I'm like, what even is this argument? Because in the books, this is Batman. Who's better, Batman or Spider-Man, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
why not just why invent? Someone on staff must have been like, market research came in. The kids love rollerblades. Put
This
it in
is
the episode.
just barely pre-Rocket Power era. They were on the ball. They knew what was coming down the line. No,
Yeah.
the problem is that you're like exclusively like a comic book nerd, which like I get. I like Batman v Spider-Man, that's a big thing for me. But like nylon versus fiberglass is a thing. Like I
No,
know
no, it's
enough
not.
gearheads. Not necessarily here, but like that sort of thing. That idea of like, oh shit, I'm a gearhead. I want to pick up the newest shoe. Let's talk about what the like sole looks like or whatever the fuck
But what
type of
was
thing.
the argument is like not what's better, isn't it? What are
Yeah.
these made of?
Well, recall that this is 1998 and they
Yeah,
are kids.
right.
Right. So they don't actually they're kind of being stupid, but
I don't know. It's a funny choice to me. I guess it works for some.
I
I
mean
do.
it is a funny
Yeah.
choice, and I do think it tells you something about the 90s that they wanted to change it to that.
I will also note that as they're having this argument, Jake's voiceover interrupts his own dialogue. It's like Jake's brain is like, this is so boring. I'm just going to say, hey, my name is Jake. You don't need to listen to this shit
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Oh, now that's worth talking about because he's first of all, we have another My Name is Jake, right? We were saying maybe
Yeah.
next one My Name is Rachel. No, this is a My Name is Jake.
Or Tobias.
Secondly,
Yeah.
yeah, or Tobias, that would have been a good one. But secondly, Marco is also in this narration. Marco pops in to talk to him in the middle of the narration, and in the outro narration, Marco does it too.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh no, he does. I mean, at the very end, Jake is like saying, "Yeah, I guess we all learned a valuable lesson here." And Marco's like, "By the way, I was right in the nylon versus fiberglass argument." And Jake's like, "Hey,
Oh.
I heard that."
Wait, he says I heard that?
Yeah, Jake says, "I heard that" to Marco in the narration.
Damn, what did I fall asleep? That is that is troubling. That is
Odd.
troubling.
Odd.
Well, and another thing is even less than before. It feels like they've immediately it may start with a Jake voiceover, but this is not a Jake episode. I mean, no, it's I guess you could argue kind of it's like a Jake and Marco, but
Yeah, that's why they both got in there, I guess.
but there's kind of equal billing to them and Rachel and Cassie. It's not really centric to any one character.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
Rachel and Cassie get more of a B plot, but they do
Yeah.
actually get a B plot.
I really wonder. I'm so still curious going forward. Are they gonna drop this? Because even here in the 4th episode, it feels half-assed. Like I guess
Yeah.
we got to throw in that little thing we do.
Yeah. They might well drop it.
I don't know. We will see. And we also moved right past this, and we cannot move past this.
Mhm.
But this is like the 2nd or 3rd frame of the episode.
Uh-huh.
You see a close up of Marco's using a trackball mouse thing,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
a weird mouse thing on his computer. I guess the mouse we have now is not standardized yet. His arm is fucking jacked.
Yeah, no,
Look at
Marco's in pretty good
he's
shape.
fucking buff, dude. Marco's fucking damn.
That's
You
not
know what
really
I'm
what I
saying?
was thinking about here, but you are right. Like,
I immediately was like, whoa, holy shit.
mm,
Oh, fucking Marco, man. Look at that beefcake. God
okay,
damn.
okay. That's enough of that. You need to calm down over there.
Well, come on. The actor is
Take a drink of
18, I
water.
assume. I assume.
You need one of
Also,
those
Homer.
like fainting fans.
Homer's here too, by the way.
Homer is here again. I love when they just have Homer with them. Here he
He's a
is.
mainstay now. Yeah, he
Yeah.
always comes to the cyber cafe with them.
Yeah, he comes to the I actually there's a bit at the end where I think you see the name of this place on the wall. I think it is called Siberia, like cyber
Mmm,
area,
cool. That's
which
pretty
is a
cool.
name that I have heard like fictional clubs and whatever things called before,
Sure.
computer stuff called before. I don't think this is a very original name, but that's okay.
I mean, it's right there, you know.
Yeah,
Why not take it?
why
It's
not take
realistic.
it?
This store could have had a shitty name. It's not
No,
the
I
writer.
agree.
It's not the writer's fault.
I agree.
It's not the set dresser's fault. It's the in-universe owners.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's also a bit here where Marco says, uh, like, well, I haven't. Jake's like, how are you doing? And Marco's like, well, I haven't been chased by anything with 8 arms yet today. And I'm wondering if that is a reference to the 8 armed, 8 headed, 8 legged, eight thing.
what- was
And
that is in the book one or where was that?
yeah, in
It
book
was
one,
book
that's when
one.
that happened, but it wasn't in the show.
I
It just
yeah,
felt
I
like an
took it.
Easter egg.
It could be. You may be right. I took it as just a generic like, haha, nothing
Yeah.
crazy happened. But yeah, no, you may be right. Here's my other like first overall kind of issue slash question with this episode.
Yeah.
Marco, I think it's the same conversation. He's like, I don't want to. You know what? Let's just have a yerk free day. I just
Hmm.
want to have one yerk free day and relax today.
Hmm.
It's too early in the series for him to be saying that. That's what your characters should be saying like episode 8 or 10. We just finished one prolonged Yerk
Hmm.
adventure. He's only had like 2 Yerk days. He shouldn't be hankering for a break already because we as the audience are like, we don't want a Yerk free day. We want
Hmm.
you to have more adventures. I feel like it's more effective if it comes later and you can feel like, yeah, let's have like some time off. Let's do something kind of fun. Obviously, the Yerks will get involved, but I don't know. I thought that was just a weird choice for so early in the show. It felt jarring
Yeah.
to me.
Now, I don't. I see what you're saying about specifically the phrasing. But that was a big part of Marco's early character that I think does like fit is that like until he found out his mom was a controller, his whole thing was always we should probably quit being Animorphs. Like we're just gonna get ourselves killed. We're not gonna succeed. You guys don't think we can get killed because you've never lost anyone, but I know we can. Like he spent the first 4 books just I mean even most of the 5th one just constantly doing that. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't think that it is
But
necessarily wrong that he should already be lamenting it, but I do see what you're saying
mhm.
about like just one Yerk free day feels weird unless he's just being, Marco and making a joke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm probably reading way too much into this throwaway line, but it did just make me feel like it just sounded like what you would say if you've been doing this for a while, as opposed to you
Mhm.
just found out aliens are real.
Yeah. Well,
It
you
felt
are a
like,
writer, so.
yeah, well, it's true. We both are. It felt like we just finished the pilot, and yeah, I don't know. We got to get there. It doesn't matter. Let's get back to this disc.
This disc. All right.
This disc, improbable.
So there's all the computers get taken over and an email message, I guess, get, get gets sent to them. It's the Yerks and they have the disc and they want to trade it back in exchange for an Andalite as a prisoner.
Now, what the screens actually say
Yeah.
initially is
Yes,
you have email from Andalite
that is sure what they say.
to everyone in the, because the Yerks don't know where the Andalites are, so I guess they just shot this out to every computer in the city or something, or what?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, okay. So there's. It seems like they feel like the Andalites just should be at the mall because, like, there is a part later on where I mean, whatever. I don't want to get into the whole, but like they're like, oh, let's not go after them yet. Let's wait for them to gather. And then later they're like, oh, they're at the mall. That must mean they're gathered because, like, obviously that's where they would gather at the mall, not like out in the woods. Like, I don't. It's. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no. It's because they wrote it that way.
Yeah, it
There's
is
no
because they wrote
logic.
it that way for sure. I do like you have an email from Andalite. It's quite good. I also love there's like fucking spinning 3D block letters down the side of the screen, and there's like little. It's like a green background with like little graph 3D Yerk models moving up the screen like the numbers in the Matrix. It's kind of an insane thing.
It's like you definitely, I feel like, should have been able to go to the website at this time, AOL keyword Animorphs, and download this screensaver. Like, I want to know
Right?
which Yerk got the graphic design job that put together the PowerPoint presentation in this email.
Yeah.
I want to see that meeting. I want to see the day-to-day Yerkpool meetings. All right, we got to send this email out to the Animorphs. Who has any suggestions? I could put together some little spinning letters. Oh, sure. Whatever, Bliplin247. Go do that.
Also, can't help but notice they use fucking boomer dots. Like rather than just talking normally, it's like we have what you want. Dot dot dot. Yours for a price. Dot dot dot. They're all three daughters, by the way. I did check.
Oh, that's good to check. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Well, here's something really important about this.
Uh huh.
Did the show prove us fools?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. Well, I don't know if it proved us fools, but
Well,
as opposed to, but yes, I know what you're. I have thought
yeah,
about this. I have a note about it. Yeah.
yes, last episode,
Hmm.
they made a whole to do about Jake holding the disc in his jacket, and then he morphs, and we had all these questions about, so you can morph a disc, I guess, like what
Hmm.
the hell, whatever. And then I said, like, it would make sense if they were setting it up for him losing it, but then nothing happened.
Right. Yes. Yeah. No. And yeah. Again. And I was. Yeah. Same thing. I was just like, why? Why would they even bother doing it? Right. Like, Jake's like, oh, I didn't leave it there because Tom would find it. And it's like, that's not a fucking. You didn't need to say that. Why does he even bring it? You're right. They did set up the whole thing where he lost it. He
But
lost it at the pool.
the problem is, it's so. If you didn't watch these episodes 2 weeks in a row and talk about them 2 hours at a time, I don't know that that connection is clear whatsoever.
Hmm.
Like, if you're just watching this episode casually or whenever, it just seems like, I lost it. It doesn't really matter that they set it up. Like, I
Yeah.
guess technically they did, but it's so ambiguous and muddy that it's like, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, listen, they did set it up. We called it out, and it was actually setting something up. It is very fucking funny that they keep making a whole big deal about how the disc is so important, and Jake fucking just loses it in the Yerk pool. Good job, Jake. There's
Maybe,
also it
yeah.
does actually seem later on. There's like a bit where they put it down rather than morphing with it in their pocket, and it's like. So wait, I made a whole big deal about how can you just morph with it to hide it? Maybe you can't. But then, so does that mean Jake took it to the Yerk pool with him, took it out of his pocket and put it down in the Yerk pool so that he could morph Tiger and go running around? It was just like, no, that's cool. That's safer than leaving it in my room where Tom might see it. Like what? What is happening here?
Yeah. Yeah, because every night Tom might just be in there digging under his bed. Like
Right.
he's constantly rummaging around in his, as far as he's concerned,
Yeah.
regular, normal human brother's room.
So it's much safer to just bring it to the Yerk pool and put it down somewhere till I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
I mean,
Someone else will
how
watch
did
it.
he fucking lose it?
Yeah, it just fell
I feel
out.
like that's what Marco should be saying right now. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, Jake gets no guff for this
Yeah.
whatsoever. If this
Guff.
were I don't know why that was the word I came up with. But if this was the book series and anyone else but Jake did this, he would be so fucking mad at them. He would be like threatening to kill them and kick them out of the group forever. And in the show, it's just like, Jake, well, I guess we gotta get it back. Doopity doo.
Whoops, I lost it.
Well,
Listen,
it happens.
This will not be the first whoops, I lost it that happens this episode.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah,
And
but
of course that has the great payoff where Jake and Marco turn to each other and do a simultaneous no way when they realize he lost it.
yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Love that trope.
I just like that Jake makes Homer feel included
Hmm.
in this scene because he says something to Homer at some point like "right, boy," so you can cut to Homer, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I don't even have what that is, but one of my notes here just is bark, and I think that's Homer responding to Jake's question.
Yeah, yeah. Homer's involved. He's an Animorph. He's the sixth
Yeah.
Animorph right now. Actually, he's the fifth
Homer?
Animorph right now.
That's true. Tobias isn't even here.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we can. Well, I don't know when we'll say this soon. I guess, but Tobias does not show up at all.
Yeah,
No,
Tobias
well,
does not.
the very
Another
end.
very strange choice, right? Very
I,
strange choice.
yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead. What's your
No, no, no.
thinking?
What are you assuming? Yeah.
Well, my thought again. I'm trying to think like if I'm writing this show,
Hmm.
why would I do this?
Hmm.
And maybe it's because, hey, we have 5 characters. That's kind of a lot. And wouldn't it be easier to kind of get to know some of them if we just remove one for a week and you get more time to spend with these 4?
Hmm.
Not saying that they do that effectively necessarily, but maybe that's the idea. And I guess it does build some mystique for Tobias.
Hmm.
Maybe his actor was not there that week. Maybe he just wasn't available. That also could be the reason.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like I guess they're trying to stretch out that mystery. Where's Tobias? It just,
Yes,
you know,
which is not
I
a mystery in the
wish
book at all.
Yeah, I wish that if they were going to do that, that the A plot would be where's Tobias and not what's up with this
Mm.
disc. And then also there's a little Tobias thing happening in the background that people wonder about it, but it's not that important.
And aren't you
Um,
kind of aiming this show at fans of the books who definitely know where Tobias is?
I
So,
mean, that is something I was wondering about too. Like, how do you what what do you think about this? Was there anybody who would be in this position? Like let's say you're watching the show, you haven't read the books, but you know they exist, and you're like, oh, a TV show that I'll watch,
mhm,
and somehow all your stupid little 8-year-old friends aren't spoiling it for you at school.
mhm.
Like, what do you think about Tobias at this point? Like, because they did do the whole thing in the first episode where it's like, oh, Tobias is acting kind of weird. He snuck away and wasn't talking to them instead of morphing. Oh, but he did show up at the last second to save them. Okay, okay, now he's kind of here, and like Rachel's flirting with him, but then he disappeared again. What's up with this kid who keeps disappearing? Like I wonder if you're
Hmm.
supposed to be like wondering, is he a Yerk? Or are you
Yeah,
just not supposed to?
maybe. What I'm thinking is just, I guess that guy isn't that important because nobody seems
Mm,
to give a shit about him. I mean, like Rachel
yeah.
maybe once is like, "Hey, where's Tobias?" Like that's, and she doesn't
Yeah.
even seem concerned. Like that's it.
Well, like the B plot with Rachel and Cassie is kind of because Rachel wants more information about Tobias, but the A plot
Hmm.
with Jake and Marco has nothing to do with that. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It is funny that we're like, oh, this actor who plays Tobias, does it kind of suck that he has to be a hawk for the whole show. Oh, I guess he
Yeah.
doesn't even get to be in it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's not even a hawk. That there's not even the hawk. He doesn't even get to do the voice.
I mean, like
What is this?
at no point in this episode did I ever feel like, oh, there's a cast member missing, or there's a
Yeah.
like a piece of this group that isn't there. It which is odd.
Yes, that is odd.
They have
Um,
not really. We've complimented the Jake and Marco chemistry, but
mhm.
I have yet to really feel like as a group they make sense together.
Yeah, no, the problem is that Cassie and Rachel are still kind of bland and function best as like a the girls' reaction to the boys. And Tobias is just kind of like the mysterious outsider who like whatever. They really should be bringing him in as a hawk, I think, because like Tobias as a kid didn't really have much of a dynamic with the groups in the books either. Like he didn't like he his the where he fit in was as a bird. And so they should be getting to that, I think, quickly so that he can fit in as a bird. And like there's another one, episode or book 3, you're talking about like we want to do new stuff because the episodes have, whatever budget. Book 3, if you take out some of the crazier shit, it's like, okay, you could CG a giant spaceship in the sky and then maybe not have the big bug fight or dog fight. And then after that, it's mostly just Tobias brooding as a bird. You just need a trained bird, which you must have.
Literally, you could film easily a 30-minute episode of this show that's just B-roll of hawks with a voiceover.
Yeah. Yeah, the hawk lands on Rachel's arm and she has half a conversation with it and you ADR Tobias in.
Beautiful. No, I don't want ADR. I think the hawk should be mic'd.
Yeah, fair.
All right. Well, look, should we get to Cassie and Rachel? Speaking of them.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess we should just say Jake is like, I want to email these guys back and get the disc.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then they
sure.
move on. And then we move on to Cassie and
And then
Rachel.
Marco's like, "What did you write?" As you said, and he's like,
Oh
"I'll
yeah,
tell
yeah,
you
yeah.
later." I'm like, "I saw what he wrote. How did you not see what he wrote?
Yeah. I
Were
did
you
like
closing
how
your
how
eyes?"
Jake was like, yeah, we'll fake him out. We'll meet him here and then we'll take it without giving up an Andalite. And Marco's like, no, 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 we should just blitz and attack. Egads, what the Misa saying? You know,
Oh my god!
that's what he's like. That's
At
what
no
he's like.
point could I have predicted that was what you were going to say.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rachel and Cassie.
Hmm. Rachel and Cassie, they're in school.
Mm-hmm.
I real quick, I want to point out something because I actually noticed this in, I believe it was the very first episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this in the background of the school cafeteria, and I
Mm.
made a note of it, but
Okay.
we just didn't have time on the episode. But I was really happy it reappeared here
Mm.
because I'm curious how many times it will reappear.
Because now we have time.
Yeah, now we have plenty of time. Well, what it is there's a sign in the school that says Friday is dot 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 hot dog day.
Mm-hmm. I see a little
Uh,
hot dog man on it.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a pickle man. There's a few little there's
Mm.
a drink man. There's definitely a soda man, a hot dog man, and maybe a pickle. Oh no, maybe that hot dog just looks green for some reason.
Mm.
Oh,
I
maybe it
think
has relish on it.
I don't have a clear shot of it, I think is the problem.
Anyway, I just really like that sign, and I think we should make it a tradition from now on that Friday is hot dog day.
Friday is hot dog day. I wonder, do you think how often do you think that changes? Do you think that that's just there because Fridays are going to be hot dog day, or do you think they have like, the kids come in and they update you on the menu, like that's tomorrow's menu or something like that, so
I think it's
Monday,
always hot dog day. And I
hot
really
dog
hope we
day.
see this sign in a lot of school scenes from now on because I like it.
Okay. I mean, I do like this sign now that you pointed it out. I did not notice it.
Friday
I feel
is
like do
hot
kids get
dog day.
excited for hot dog day? I feel like they get
Oh,
excited for
yeah.
pizza day and taco day.
Oh, well, I mean, it depends what the other days are.
Hmm.
They might be comparatively still pretty good. Hard to say. Um, also, another huge note right here.
Hmm.
Cassie's hair. It's different
Yes.
now.
It's down like in the opening.
That's right. So now we got to wonder: is this the norm, or is she gonna go back to the up? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be,
Yeah.
Cass?
I kind of got a sense that it's going to be like this, given that that's how she looks in the opening, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
it could be.
Once again, looks way too clean here. Pisses me off. Go back to the overalls.
Oh my
But,
god.
it
You
is what
probably
it
don't
is.
like a later part of the episode either. We'll get there. We'll get there in about 3 hours. Um,
Eventually.
who else shows up in this scene though?
This is where Melissa shows up. It's Melissa.
Melissa, and in case you were wondering, confirmed in the credits, it is indeed Melissa Chapman because it is not clear in the episode if she is meant to be related to Chapman or not,
Yeah,
but
you
she
wouldn't
is.
know. You wouldn't
You
know from
you
this,
wouldn't
but
know. And she's played by Tara Vanessa.
yeah, it's spelled so weird that I was just like, is this pronounced Vanessa? Is this pronounced Vnesa? How should I?
Right.
What is this? It's
It's
a weird name.
Vnesa, which is like how you would spell Vanessa for a username where you have limited characters.
Mm. Or like if you were doing one of those joke names where it's like an alien, and so they have an alien name, but it looks like a regular name.
Right.
Y- You know what I mean?
Right. And you know how she got her start? On Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, that's right.
Hell
We didn't
yeah.
watch her episodes though.
Well, maybe we'll have to.
Goosebumps Part 2.
Did she do anything notable? I feel like I didn't.
No, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Degrassi,
Oh wait, was
standard
she the one
Canadian.
who was just in some like horror stuff?
I don't think so. She doesn't have much.
Okay. I thought she had like on her actress page on IMDb there was like a screenshot of like her with blood all over her face or something.
Oh, yes. She was in Wrong Turn 4 is probably what you were seeing.
Wrong turn 4. All right. Scream queen
Which
over here.
which by the way, on IMDb it says like underneath if it's a TV series or a movie or a
Mhm.
TV movie or whatever.
Mhm.
Underneath Wrong Turn 4 : Bloody Beginnings, it just says video. So
This one's real, nonfiction.
it's just a video. All right. Anyway, I guess she does a fine job as Melissa, I guess. Like it's not like Melissa really has much to do in this episode.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm happy she's here. Like, because honestly, I would have, especially for a live action Animorphs, it's like, you gotta put more Melissa in here.
Well, you gotta have excuse me. You gotta have more kids in general, I think.
Hmm.
It's again like sort of what I said about the parents last week. In a book, I feel like you can get away with writing around that stuff. But in a live action show, like you're seeing them in a school, you're seeing kids walking around.
Yeah.
It's weirder if you don't see them interacting with anyone else.
Yeah. No, agreed. Like, that is one thing that they really should be doing is taking some of the like bit one shot characters, Juan and Terry perhaps, and
Mhm.
just being all like, rather than doing, every third book you get a kid who shows up for one scene in school, be like, all right, there's like 3 extra kids and they do all of those scenes or something like that. And they're just
Yeah.
regular characters who are
Yeah,
around. Add
I
some.
wanna get a sense of how the Animorphs are viewed by their peers. Like,
Mhm.
the only time I can think you get a little bit of that is in the separation when all the kids are like, "Man, Rachel's so fucking mean all the time."
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's like, yeah, I wanna get a little bit of yeah, I want to, feel that these are actual people that exist in a world and don't just wake up and start fighting Yeerks every day.
Yeah. Allison and Brittany, them those
Yeah.
types.
Yeah, whoever else I put in my fan fiction, I can't remember their names.
uh, what, Drake and Woo?
Oh, yeah, Drake and Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good.
Um, Yeah, and on a similar note, and maybe this is also getting ahead of myself, but it's fine to get ahead of ourselves here. It means that we won't be so far behind schedule in talking
I'll
about
pull
the
us
episode.
back after.
Yeah, uh, is I also want to see more controller characters, right? Like in the books, how many controller characters do you get? You get Visser 3, Visser 1, Tom and Chapman, and eventually Taylor. And they basically drop Tom and Chapman right away, and Visser 1's barely around, and Visser 3's not actually a character, he's a caricature. So like who do you know what I mean? I want controller characters, and if you're doing a live action show, that's the perfect chance to be using like the same kind of suite of extras. And there are multiple controllers in this episode that I kind of loved their performances and would love to see them become regular antagonists.
Yeah, they could be like the gym teacher one or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You got it.
yeah, you're right. No Chapman either in this episode.
No Chapman, which is a little weird for, as you said, a Melissa episode. No Chapman connection.
Right.
Whatever. Bring in
No
some
Hedrick.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it could have been, I mean, that would have been an easy route to take, I would think. Just
Hmm.
have him play the role of the three Stooges controllers they get.
Hmm.
But I guess it's kind of better that they didn't do that, but
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, this makes me hopeful that Melissa will be a recurring character because they didn't do any of the stuff that she did in the books, and they didn't, it's like they didn't even mention she's Chapman's daughter. I I hope they bring
hmm.
her back.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say anything. I did look at her IMDb, and
Mm.
it does say how many episodes she's in.
Okay, I did not look that closely. I just
I
kind of
won't,
scrolled it.
yeah, I won't mention it. I won't mention it.
All right, one.
It's at least one.
Ooh.
Now we
Uh,
kind of actually jumped ahead a little bit before because it's actually not
did
till
we?
this scene that he replies to the email.
Yes, yes. Oh, I mean, did we actually say what happened in this Melissa scene? She invites them to
Did it
go to a
matter?
sharing meeting,
Oh,
and
oh,
Rachel's
right.
like, we get another simultaneous, like they say the same thing, or say Cassie and Rachel say a thing and then look at each other, only Cassie says no and Rachel says yeah.
Right,
But yes, Rachel's like, we got to go to the sharing meeting to find out what happened to Tobias or something, whatever.
right, right.
All
Okay,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
now
important.
Jake can send the thing.
Now Jake does the thing. Tom shows up at the cyber cafe and says hi.
He also says, what did you bring Homer here for? I'm taking the dog home, Jake. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Although I do wonder what's the controller's angle there. Like, why does he want this dog? Why does he care?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
he's got to keep up the big brother act somehow. It can't all be join the sharing. Like he's probably, there's a part of him that's like got to get to Jake to join the sharing, and there's another part that's like Jake's not supposed to bring the dog here, so I'm just going to fucking take it home. What is he doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked again. This controller
Yeah.
must be bored out of his mind all the time. His life sucks. Now, I have to assume that there's more. Somehow, Jake is replying to this email and typing more than we can fit on the screen or something. Because all we see him type is "meet at the mall"
Yeah, in 1 hour.
in
Dot
one
dot dot.
hour, and it's like, how do they know? You didn't say who they're gonna meet or where or
Yeah,
what you're
right.
gonna do. There is like later on we'll see they somehow do know, so it seems like he must have told them, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
We get a
weird.
good Marco insane here. But also this is both insane and true to the books. Jake could have written anything here. He could have said, "Meet me at the mall in 2 days." He said 1 hour. He didn't gather. He wasn't like, "All right, let's get Rachel and Cassie together and figure out where Tobias is so we can plan this switch off because we're going to pull the old switcheroo on him and try to get the disc without giving up. How long do we need to prep in order to pull this one off? An hour.
Yeah.
Hour should be good. Me and Marco can handle it.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it."
there's no, we don't need to meet with the other Animorphs. We don't need to
Yeah.
go to the barn. I don't even need to
No
tell you
backup.
the plan. I came up with it in 5 seconds. I typed it and we're gonna go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, it is even less prep than they do in the books, but they sure do not do enough prep in the books.
Yeah, that is true, but goddamn, usually they at least say, "Hey, here's what we'll do." This is a wild thing. Anyway,
Yeah. Also, Tom's shirt here, straight out of fucking like Peanuts or something.
yeah, I think I had a shirt like that. It's like a yellow and dark blue or
Yeah.
black stripe polo.
Yeah. Fucking like Schroeder ass shirt or some shit.
I think it's cool. I don't think you should be dissing him.
It's a little dorky.
Don't you mean Schroeder? That's how the
Huh?
Zoomers would say it.
Oh.
You don't say
I'm not.
ass anymore. You say ah.
I said esque.
Oh, I thought you said Schroeder ass shirt. That's funnier.
Listen, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
you made
very.
it even nerdier. What the
Yeah, I was
fuck?
gonna
You
say I'm
suck.
I'm so out of touch.
You are a white man. Lane was right. Um,
uh,
um, we're gonna go to the.
yeah.
Sorry. Before leaving that scene, I did also just want to say I
Hmm.
did make a note here, and I just wrote Marco is hot.
Well, I mean, listen, I,
He's
I
looking
can't dis-
fucking good.
I can't disagree with you.
God damn. All right.
I do feel like this show should have gotten people shipping Jake and Marco.
Oh, I mean,
Like,
hell yeah.
if it didn't, then I don't know. It needed a bigger fan base. Like, way
Right.
more than the books. This show should have you shipping Jake and Marco.
I'm gonna be shipping them later tonight.
All right,
All
let's
right.
calm down.
All right. Um, we go to the sharing meeting.
Yeah.
This the music at this sharing meeting sucks ass.
The worst DJ of all time. Yeah, no, that like
And there is a
immediately
literal DJ.
yeah, we open on the guy. It's like the music fucking sucks, and he looks so bored. He's just like, scratch the record, I guess. It's so.
But what is it's like fucking Yoko Ono or something or Björk. Like it sounds like this crazy it's
The yerk, did you just say?
oh surely we've done that before.
I don't know that we have.
I think we have. I think we
Mm,
have.
I'm going to give you credit for being original.
Well, I mean, I might have been original the first time I said it a year and a half ago. um, uh, I mean, you're the one who said it this time.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah, but if you want to give me the credit, go for it.
I do like how fucking lame this sharing meeting looks. Because I do think the sharing meeting would be this fucking like this is some like church youth group shit.
It looks like a really shitty airport lounge, or I guess like a school lounge, which is probably what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's got like weird armchairs and I don't know. There's a ping pong table.
Yeah, like a chessboard. They've got red solo cups, but it's at school, so they're probably drinking like soda or something or juice because they can't have soda. There's like little brochures for this. It really does. I mean, honestly, I do get the vibes of like this is what the youth room in the church, and this is the cool place. Cool kids love Jesus. Don't worry that your friends don't want to come.
I guess they describe meetings like this in the book, but when I hear sharing meeting, I just picture like a bunch of folding chairs and a guy at a podium saying, "Good
Mm.
job, sharing members. Let's plan our trip to the zoo next week or whatever."
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is that, like, yeah, I feel like the average sharing meeting in the book is probably like this, but they mostly get invited to, like, outings where it's like, yeah, we all set up in a field and there's, like, hot dogs and live music that isn't this shitty DJ, and then there'll be a speaker. They do the thing where Visser 3 shows up and gives a speech in front of a bunch of folding chairs.
Right. Right, that's true. Do you think Eric's somewhere at this meeting?
Oh, he's got to be, right?
Yeah, he
Got to
could be
be.
there. Well, anyway, Rachel's got a plan.
Yeah, because Melissa's like, oh, the inner sharing, they don't let us go in there. So Rachel goes in the bathroom and turns into a fly.
And we don't even, it's so lame.
I know.
They don't even do a fly morph sequence. You just see her and then it cuts to fly POV.
Yeah, it cuts to her POV and then it wobbles into fly POV. It's like we can't do a morph of her, but we can do a morph of her POV.
There's not one, you don't actually see a morph in this whole
Yeah.
episode.
No, you do not see any morphing. Well, no, you see a little bit of Marco's face at one point,
Okay, but like,
but that's
I
it.
listen. I'm the
Yeah.
one who's trying to be sympathetic here about the budget. I get it, but
Mhm.
it cannot possibly cost that much to just
Yeah.
cut some frames from human face to fly face. Just
Yeah.
come on.
No,
That's the name of the show. Just do it.
yeah. No, I will say, like, there is so little in the way of like morphing or cool animals or like animal action. Another kind of baffling decision for your like first episode after we finish the first book to do a thing where it's like mostly humans running around.
Yeah, well, that's
Which
why I
again,
thought.
yeah.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I liked it. I don't
Mm.
understand why they did it.
Yeah, it's I mean, to reiterate, again, I figured budget and I figured
Mhm.
but it still makes more sense in the middle of the season. It's
Yeah.
because then you'd be much more forgiving of it. You'd be like, "Yeah, I get it. We have a break now." But we haven't even started yet. Like, we
Yeah.
give us one more adventure
Yeah.
first.
Very. Yeah. I don't. Oh, I mean, also, I actually am almost positive this scene pissed me off as a kid for a reason that you're going to be like, okay, but I think it's a valid reason even now,
Mhm.
which is that Rachel's vision turns into fly vision and it just flips upside down and she goes, wow, I didn't know fly see upside down. Now, what do you know about what fly vision is? Because I
It's
don't actually know what fly vision is, but I know what it's definitely supposed to be.
it's like a bunch of TV monitors,
Yeah, they have compound eyes.
like The Architect.
Yeah. So she switches to fly vision. Why don't I didn't know flies see upside down. What they see with the fucking why isn't all right? It's stupid. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do that? Everybody knows. Even if you don't know anything about flies, you know what fly vision looks like in a TV show.
Yeah, it is pretty damn weird.
I
But
don't
it's
know.
green, I think. They make it
Oh yeah,
green
it's
though.
green. Yeah, yeah,
Every
yeah.
every animal sees the world as green.
Yeah. And this is also where we start getting there's like a musical sting that they really overuse for the first bit of this episode that I was into, where it's just like da bwapa da bwapa da bwapa da bwapa da bwapa da, that I was really getting into, and this is where I first noticed it.
Wow. I'm glad that
Um,
that sounds cool.
it is cool. You didn't notice that?
No, I'm not as in tune with the music as you are in this show. I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know what it is.
mm. I
I
have
was too
one more
hung up on
point
the
about
fly
this.
vision. Yeah, what's your point?
I don't know if I should get into it because it might be too political.
Well, this is our first episode that we've recorded post the United States
Mm.
2024 election.
Hmm.
So I think it's maybe okay if we get talk a little bit of politics right now.
Okay. I think this is a gender neutral bathroom. Because Rachel walks into this bathroom as a human, so presumably she would walk into the girls' room so as not to be suspicious. And after she morphs, some guy enters the stall.
Now you are assuming that person's gender.
That's true.
So
I'm assuming a lot of things here about this.
can we just say you're canceled now?
Yeah, I think we can say that. Well, see, I guess you're the woke one, because you're yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
over here
just
like, what? A gender neutral bathroom? That's
right.
insanity.
Yeah, I watched this and I just
What?
said, "Why, that's just a normal bathroom to me."
Right, right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that thus ends the two white men's nuanced political discussion.
I actually am watching this again. Are you talking about the person who comes in through fly vision?
Yeah,
I
isn't that a
actually think
guy?
that I don't think that is a guy. I think
Are
that
you
is a
sure?
girl. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe I just can't recognize. Maybe I just don't see gender.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like in double vision and green and upside down. So I don't blame you for it being kind of ambiguous, but I think that might just be a girl with short hair.
Huh. Well,
Their facial features look more feminine to me. Not that I would know what that means.
I mean, it is possible because I definitely couldn't get a good view of their facial features through the.
Well, you
I
have
don't.
really good vision, so you're more likely to catch
Oh,
something
maybe
like
it
that.
is a girl actually. I don't know.
You made this political for nothing.
I guess I
You
did.
canceled yourself,
You were
you
right. I shouldn't have
dumbass.
assumed their gender.
Yeah, wow. You assumed the wrong gender. I assumed the right one.
God damn, you did it.
The thing is, you can assume gender. You just have to be good at it. As long as you're accurate, it's fine. You just got to be able to read people.
Right. Right.
God, I love Marco's orange jacket.
I do too. I'm a huge fan. His orange jacket is the best part of his character design here.
I hate to say it. We're not there yet, but I think he might lose it in this episode.
He definitely leaves it behind somewhere. I
Yeah,
bet he gets it back.
I hope so. I hope so.
It's the
Kind of a
new
Marty
lashes.
McFly energy.
Mmm.
Well, no, the new lashes is his goddamn forearms. Take that jacket off. Roll those sleeves up, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. Is that better? Hold on.
Yeah.
I could do a good one if I have a minute.
That's not too bad.
It's just because my throat's dry. I'm not at full capacity.
Your throat's dry, so you can't whistle.
We need it all to be wet.
Mm.
I hope that's not annoying in people's ears.
I bet it's fine. All right, so Marco is heading over to PJ's Pet Center, spelled wrong, presumably Canadian.
Oh.
And he's dropping Jake off in lizard morph here. I do enjoy fucking Marco walks into the store looking just shifty as fuck. He like leans over onto the thing. He's like looking back and forth with his big bulky jacket, and then he like reverse shoplifts by putting Jake in the thing. Marco would not be a good shoplifter.
It's also still unclear to me, where is this show supposed to take place? Because if it's California, why is he wearing this big jacket everywhere?
Drip.
But other people are like some people have short sleeves, some people have like an overshirt. So it's not like winter, but it's not maybe summer either. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about the climate and the geography.
Yeah. I guess thinking about it though, in terms of where they are in a mall. So last time we were like, I don't even know if this arcade is in the mall because they didn't mention a mall, but
That's true. Yeah, but it does seem like it confirmed in a mall.
yeah, I suppose it is.
Yeah, it must be. It is.
Yeah. Um yeah. We get a scene again with Rachel as a fly. She's spying on the inner sharing members meeting. I do really like there's a little girl who's in charge, who's giving big, like, Karen, you're our meat energy. And I really liked it. Like, they got, like, the tall guy comes in and is like, the work pool has been sealed off. And you think maybe he's in charge. And then this little girl steps forward and is like, good. Now the Andalites will never, blah, blah, blah. Like, we will squash them all. And it's great. And it's clear he's, like, reporting to her. It's good. That's what I want to see done with this live action is some fucking controllers camping it up.
Maybe that's Karen. Maybe they aged up Karen.
Holy shit. Yeah, that could be Aftran.
That could be
Oh my
her right
God.
there.
Do you think they'll do Aftran?
No. So headcanon wise, I think we must say that's her.
Okay. Exciting.
I would bet money there's no the departure episode.
Yeah.
Or
Also,
anything
there's a
close
bit
to
here
it.
where there's like Rachel gets smushed or something, but she doesn't actually. Like they're just like she swats the fly that Rachel is, and it cuts, and it's supposed to be scary, and then we just don't see. It's fine.
Well, we I mean, she gets you think maybe they squashed Rachel as a fly. And then we don't go back to Rachel after that for like 10 minutes. Like most of the episode is potentially you think Rachel's dead. I
Yeah.
thought it was kind of funny. But
It is funny.
it doesn't feel intentional. It feels like they forgot. They're like, oops, maybe we should have told people she's not really dead. Oh well.
Again, such an odd, like, if you were to say, okay, they made up a new episode and there's two plots going on. One of them is they infiltrate a sharing meeting to find out the whereabouts of Tobias. And the other one is, like, Jake and Marco lose the disc. Which one's the A plot? and which one's the B plot. You would not get that right.
Who cares about Tobias? I want to know about this disc.
What about the sharing meeting? Like, infiltrate a sharing meeting is just a typical Animorphs plot. You'd expect that to be one of the episodes.
I also appreciate that the secret meeting they're holding is in the kitchen or something. It's this dingy, shitty looking room with just a big wooden table and a bunch of cafeteria trays. It's so dimly lit. They all look miserable. Like they couldn't. Aren't you the higher ups at the Sharings running this school? You couldn't get a nicer room to meet in? Kind of sucks.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
get it. All right, so I guess we go to the huge section where there's no Rachel and Cassie.
Yeah, we're done with them. Big developments coming up though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big developments because immediately we find out that the plan, I guess, is that when the controller's gonna try to take Jake, Marco's gonna morph a security guard and arrest him. Which well, they don't quite tell you that yet, but like immediately we got him just going to morph humans, and I was like, holy shit, what a departure from the book that Marco's acquiring a
Number
security guard for
19.
this plan. Like insane. I love it. Let's do it. And then it turns out Marco just can't morph him.
That's right. He goes to the
So,
bathroom. His
yeah.
jacket matches the orange stall doors,
Hmm, hmm.
and it just like doesn't. He kind of starts to morph, but it doesn't work. I don't. My. I don't. I guess it doesn't really make any sense based on what we know about the series. But
Hmm.
my thought was maybe it's because the guy has clothes and animals don't, and maybe their version of clothes morphing is you can't morph into clothes.
I mean,
um
my thought was that whatever the logic, which probably won't be explained, um, in the books, it's like we don't want them morphing humans because it's about morphing animals and I don't know, dumb KA reasons. So Cassie will have a moral problem with it, which is not very well explored and not that good. So in the show, let's just make it so you can't morph humans. And then figure out why. And to be fair, if you're going to say we don't want them morphing humans, I feel like it's much better to just say they can't for some reason. They want to, they tried it immediately, but they can't, than to just say I have a moral problem with it and not explore it in any way. So that is a good choice if you decide to not have them morph humans. On the other hand, I was very excited for them to start morphing humans like every episode. I think that would have been great. I think they should have done it.
yeah, I do agree that it makes a lot of sense to take that route. What's weird is that it seems like it's setting up that this is a problem to be solved, that there's a reason they could
Hmm.
figure out. At least that's what
Maybe
I
it's on the
thought. I could
disc.
be wrong. Maybe it's on the disc. I also thought it was pretty weird and funny that as he starts morphing, you see the guy's watch on his hand.
Right?
Like, so he took the DNA of the guy's watch, I guess, when he acquired him. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
The cube just DNA is not a part of the cube in the show. It's you just copy whatever the thing was at the time.
I don't
Eh,
know that they say DNA in the show. Maybe they do.
I don't know either. They
I don't
probably
remember.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see if this comes up again. I also think at this point the version of Cassie on this show, it doesn't even seem like she would care
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
morphing a human. She doesn't
What
have
does
any
the
kind of
version of
moral.
Cassie on this show care about?
She cares about hanging out with Rachel, I guess.
I guess.
That's all I
Yeah.
got.
No, very bland. I do also like during this there are like there's the scene with Rachel trying to morph into a fly, and then there's Marco trying to morph into a human, both in a bathroom stall. Both of them, they do the standard setup, right? Where it like in the other episodes we'd said, like, oh, they can't show the whole body, they can't show the whole thing, so we're just gonna do this like straight on shot of just their face, and then so that it's very easy to change and then morph just their face. And we did that again for both of these, even though Marco's didn't work and Rachel's they didn't show it.
Yeah.
Strange choice to frame it as though you were gonna show it anyway.
Yeah. Pretty weird. Maybe they were like, well, we might find room in the budget. Let's just film this just in case, and we can edit it out.
Just in case. Yeah, that's
Didn't we
true. That's
also
true.
did we see Jake turn into a lizard
Nope.
in?
Marco just walks in and's got him in his
But
pocket.
in the last episode though, do we see
Oh,
that? Do we see that morph?
no. In that
Okay.
morph, yeah, they're just like we should morph lizards, and then in the next scene they're running out of the door as lizards, and then when they morph back, they're inside lockers and they make the lockers shake.
Right. That's why I was wondering if because they could have just reused it, but they didn't do one in the first place. So,
Nope, they sure didn't do one.
well, then we get this Chad ass controller.
I love him. I love him so much. He's the best. Honestly, best part of the whole episode. Fucking big ass, scary, super jacked, 6'5", big dick, knows how to fuck guy, comes into the pet shop, kneels down in front of the bunny rabbit. Andalite, is that you? Show yourself. He's so good. I love him. He's just going through all the animals. Is that you, Andalite? He's amazing.
It is pretty funny. He is pretty good. It is confusing at first because at this point in the show, we don't know what the plan is.
Yes.
And we also don't know like who they're meeting. So the cut from Marco in the bathroom immediately to just a guy you don't know walking down carrying a bag. I was for a second like, did Marco morph into that guy? Like I didn't know who this guy was.
No, they're doing like scary music and slow-mo on him. I did know he was a controller.
I didn't interpret it as scary. I thought it was supposed to be like, oh, this guy's a badass. It was like, ba ba down, bam, ba down, ba. Like, there comes this guy. I don't know. That was the impression I got.
Here comes that boy.
That's exactly right. Here comes dat Gary. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to get political. Let's not get political.
I also love fucking, he's always, Andalite, reveal yourself. And at some point, Jake is like, controller.
Yeah.
That was good. I mean, honestly, this was the part that like kind of was really selling me on this episode. Once I got to this part, I was like, this is honestly what I want out of this show. Like, if you can't show me cool, crazy Hork-Bajir, don't show me puppets. But you know what you can show me is some controller just camping it the fuck up in a pet shop, and that's what I want.
You want it to just be, if it's not going to be good, it should be as dumb as it can be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can do all the fun, dumb Animorph stuff with the humans easily. In fact, probably even better. Like, I don't think this scene is half as good in animation because you don't actually see the real guy kneeling in front of the real bunny rabbit. Like, lean into the medium you're in,
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yerks are pretty fucking stupid, huh?
Yeah, that's fine. It's a kid's show. They can be stupid. That's another advantage that you have with Animorphs is that, like, yes, you can go very, very dark and gritty, and that's hard to do with a kid's show. But the books also go very, very stupid, and that works well with a kid's show.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, he gets fooled by Jake saying, hey, it's me. I'm the parrot.
Yeah.
By the way, put that disc over on the iguana tank and then go talk to me, the parrot.
Yeah. And the parrot fucking bites him too, and he's like, you'll pay for that, Andalite. It's so good.
Well, I mean, they cut away. The pet shop owner's like, that parrot's not for sale. And the controller's like, give him to me. And they cut away. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's some parrot abuse about to occur. Like, this controller definitely steals and murders this parrot, right?
Yeah, almost certainly he steals and murders the parrot. Or like steals it, brings it to Visser 3, and Visser 3 is like, this is not the Andalite fool, and then kills him and the parrot.
Yeah.
The shop owner's probably getting infested or Draconed.
Yeah.
I do love his stupid smile where he's like trying to be all menacing at the parrot, and then he puts on like the dumbest, like, I'm an evil guy pretending to be nice smile ever, and is like, I would like to buy this bird. It's great. I love it. This is what I want the whole show to be.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
I am happy. This is the happiest I've been so far.
When I said that just now, I didn't mean it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually am usually happier when you're unhappy.
That's sad.
I don't
This
know what
guy
to
is
do
played
with
by
this.
Noah Dalton Danby, by the way.
You're his number one fan.
I am.
I don't like what you were saying about him being, jacked, because I don't know, and tall. And I don't like what you were saying. I just think
Hmm.
I feel threatened on behalf of Marco. I
Well,
think
I mean,
he should be the cutest boy in the
right.
episode, and I don't want to hear you say that stuff.
There's a big difference between, like giant, muscular, jacked, square jawed guy and you know, pretty face, but still has decent muscles, nice short king, stylish hair, got that drip, funny, charming. Marco is
Mm,
hotter. I'm not saying
God.
that this guy is hotter than Marco. He's
Okay.
more
Okay.
muscular, but that doesn't mean
All
hotter.
right.
It's not the
Okay.
same thing. I said
I
big dick know
accept.
how to fuck as a joke. It was just a
Yeah, this
joke. I
this
wasn't
York doesn't
thinking
even know
about it.
what
It's
to
just a
do with
joke.
his dick. He's like, I just need Candrona rays. This never happens to me. Okay.
Okay. Uh,
All right.
Marco's under arrest for shoplifting a lizard. Commercial break.
That's right. That's what happens. I mean, he's racially profiled, I think.
Right. Well, I mean, it could be because he came up to the mall cop ahead of time and was all like, in order to acquire him, was like, let me shake your hand. We need more mall cops. And the cop was like, better follow this kid.
By the way, he
The
doesn't go
fuck?
into a trance when he acquires him.
True. But it also
Yeah.
didn't work.
Well, did it not work because he didn't acquire him properly, or just because we
Mm,
don't know why it didn't work exactly?
maybe. Maybe. I
It
bet the
could be
disc
like
teaches you how to acquire people.
maybe it's just that Marco's not good enough at morphing. You need like morphing level 10 to do humans.
So Cassie could do it, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, yeah, I mean, do we need to talk much about this? There's like a chase sequence. he
Yeah.
they do the fastest morphing of all time to
Yes.
get away.
Literally, they're in the middle of a chase scene. Marco is human with Jake as a lizard in his pocket. He turns a corner. The security guard runs past Jake as a human with Marco the mouse in his pocket. Like, boom, double morph right there, done.
By the way, this whole time, like Jake could have just gone back to the pet store, crawled out of the tank. It was open on top and morphed himself. Like Marco didn't need to help at all.
Maybe he couldn't get out. I don't know.
I I I think he could get out.
I think he could too. Let's be real.
He's a lizard. He
Um,
can do it.
Now this is where I started fucking laughing my ass off here.
Yeah.
Because this is the part they morph back and they're like, yes, finally, we got the disc. And Marco's like, oh no, I put the disc down before I turned into a rat. And oh no, it got thrown away in the garbage and the garbage man took it out. I just was dying. Like, Jake fucking left the disc. They did this whole fucking pet store scene, and then Marco just lost it again, and it went in the fucking trash can. Like, at this point, I was like, this is a comedy. Like, this is just a comedy, and I'm so here for it.
Yeah, I mean the whole plot of this episode is just running around a mall.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is like, yeah, no, I'm dying. I'm
Well,
dying.
did you skip past the controllers in the van too, meeting with
Oh,
Visser 3?
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's the controllers in the van with
Because
Visser Three's head.
that was my favorite part is there's a close up of these two controllers, a
Mhm.
man and a woman. Their fucking faces
Yeah, the
in the
lady
meeting.
is my second favorite part of this episode.
Sorry, are there three of them or
There are
two?
3 later, but 2 here, I think.
Okay, because in the shot that I'm thinking about that I loved, they zoom in, the woman does a weird smirk,
Mhm.
turns to her right, looks at the guy. The guy also does a smirk, turns to his right, but there is no one sitting to his right. So he just like smirks at no one.
Maybe the third guy was there and they were just like, that take is not good. We're not using that.
Or I guess he was looking at the radar, which showed them. Did we say they had a tracking device on Jake and Marco?
They said the tracker is on the move. Should we get
Right.
them? And Visser Three's like, no, wait for them to regroup. I
Like
do. This lady though, so goddamn campy. Her face is
yes.
amazing. Her performance she's great.
She is really funny looking. I
Yeah,
just they did a good job with these freaks.
yeah. Oh, should I have her name here somewhere too? It's like Ophelia something.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Ophelia. Ophira. Ophira Eisenberg.
Wow.
That's a K.A. Applegate name.
Sure is. Maybe she created her.
Could be.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, as you said, it's a trash can, or as I like to think of it,
Hmm.
a dumpster.
Yes, they do
Well,
go in.
we
I
get
don't
to a
know if it's a
dumpster.
capital D dumpster.
Of course, it is a capital D dumpster.
It is a dumpster from Waste Co., which is a real waste management service. I don't know if they
Okay,
use dumpster brand dumpsters or not.
is it Canadian?
I don't. I think it extends into the United States. I don't remember. I just looked it up to see if it was real.
I just noticed there's a store in the background, Battery Plus. I believe Batteries Plus is a real
Hmm,
store. So I don't know again if that's a Canadian version or a copyright thing.
could be. How do you feel about
Um,
Hank the Garbage Man?
he's kind of a dick.
Or just like, I think our shit is in that bag, and he throws it in the dumpster. Like, better get digging, kid.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, you can't blame him. Of course, he doesn't give a shit
Yeah.
about these stupid kids and their problems. He's cleaning up trash at the mall. He doesn't care. Fuck these kids.
Yeah. I mean, the fucking I was laughing my ass off. They track down the guy. Oh, but now they have to dig through the dumpster to find the
And they don't even, you'd think maybe this is an opportunity. Hey, Jake can morph a dog. Dogs have a good sense of smell. Maybe he could find the tracker in there. Nah, just Marco will just go in there and just smell bad, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, this gave us a good funny Marco line where Jake's like, "Any luck yet?" and Marco in the garbage is like, "Yeah, this is the luckiest day of my life." Marco's
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, I have a note right here that says Marco is still funny.
Yeah, of course he is.
He's fucking hilarious. I love this guy.
Yeah, he's great. I love it.
And
Jake,
and
yeah.
Jake's holding his jacket, which means we get to see his arms again.
Yeah, you like those arms.
I don't know. Something about him I like.
Mm. You know, when I was his age, I had pretty good forearms too. I think he would have been into that. I think he probably. I think that's what
Oh, oh shit! That made me want to hurl. He
I'm
also
just,
picks up. Yeah, when he says that, he picks up like a cup with a banana peel in it. It's pretty funny. And then this is the best part here.
yeah,
Jake
yeah,
just goes. Jake's like, okay, Marco, while you're digging around in the trash, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get some food. See ya. He just fucking leaves.
Also, fucking, he says that. And it's funny enough. The instant he turns his back, what should come around the corner? But the garbage truck. Jake turns his back for 2 seconds, and Marco's getting driven away in the garbage truck.
There's no way Jake couldn't hear that coming
I'm
down.
fucking dying over here. Oops, we lost the disc. I just dropped it in the York pool. Oops, I just dropped it in the trash. Oops, I got thrown in the garbage can. And Jake's like, aw, here we go again, and turns into a dog and chases after the truck. It's ridiculous.
Sorry,
I love
Marco,
it.
I got a craving for Sbarro. I don't have time to help you out. I got something to do. Yeah. Which, by the
Uh,
way, he chases after the truck as a dog. I guess a dog is faster. Is it? I guess.
Probably, yeah.
I don't. I guess. I
Maybe.
mean, they're always chasing cars. You know what they never do is catch one.
That's true. That's true. They don't
I
do
don't.
that.
I don't know that made too much sense to do, but like this truck was still had to get out of a parking lot probably and stop at some point. It wasn't like I don't know.
Well,
Whatever.
it took Jake about a quarter second to morph. They did it like over
I
the space
know.
of a cut.
I know. It really is absurd how these morphs are like instantaneous.
Yeah. They really did not want to do the morphing part of morphing.
Can we just call it Anim?
Anim. Yeah, I like it. Anim.
Should
Uh,
we get back to the B plot or what?
well,
And I'm
I
not
just
talking
want.
about turning into bees, by the way.
Okay, so you know how on the last B plot, Rachel got hit with a hand, and we just think she's dead, and we don't really return to that.
Right.
I will say, when we cut back to the B plot here, Marco's in the truck, and the like garbage crusher starts coming in to crush him in the
Yeah.
truck, and
Yeah.
he's like, "No!" And then we cut. He's fine, and we don't resolve that. It's fine. We're gonna cut, and Jake's gonna be like, "God, I had to bail him out of the dump." Why are we doing this?
Well, remember that most of the people who work on this show previously worked on Goosebumps.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Now you know what? You've explained it. I get it
Yes.
now.
The cut to credits, cut to new scene, cliffhanger is kind of their bread and butter. It's all they know. It's all they know how to do.
All
We
right.
will,
You know what?
yeah.
I won't question it again.
There you go. We solved one mystery here. Yes, we do then go back to the sharing meeting, and Tom shows up again.
Mhm.
And again, I have to think that Tom's Yerk must really hate his life. That
Mhm. Mhm.
how much of his day is spent chatting with dumbass teens and trying to recruit them to their stupid club. Like, it sucks. What a terrible life you have to lead. To have to feign interest in, oh, yeah, you must really like that boy, huh? Well, he's in the sharing, I guess. Fucking Christ. Like, sucks.
Tom does come across kind of creepy here.
Yeah, I guess he is kind of like a predator in this scene.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally.
it's weird because like he
Oh,
really
it's
does
parasite.
feel like he's creeping on Cassie, but then he like doesn't. Instead of creeping on her, he's like, maybe you should convince my brother to come." And I'm like, "Are you trying to tell Cassie to fuck Jake into joining the sharing or something? Is that what's happening here?" I do
Well,
not like
okay.
the vibes of this scene.
I think he just wants her to like maybe give him a hand job, but not.
Jesus.
What you said? Fucking. That's worse.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. What I said is fine.
All right, it's fine.
I get that is, by the way, probably the first only indication I can think of that Cassie and Jake might like each other.
I thought there was another one at some point, but it was equally just not really actually there.
Yeah, maybe. Also, I don't know how I feel about Tom calling Rachel cuz,
Yeah.
and Rachel also calls him cuz in return.
Yeah, I think she was kind of being aggressive about it. He's like,
A little
"Jake's the
bit.
only one who gets to call me cuz."
And only in the bedroom.
That's right. Yeah, that's okay to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love fucking Melissa over here. You know, she's like, "Oh, let's get my friend Rachel and also Cassie and we can all go to this sharing meeting together where I've been getting cucked. They won't let me into the inner sharing, but at least I can be here and pretend I have friends, although my friends abandoned me." Immediately, Rachel's like, I gotta do something, and then just disappears all meeting. So it's like, yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, even though my best friend didn't even want to be here. Rachel returns and immediately is like, yeah, we gotta go. But let's get out of here, Cassie. Come on, we don't want to hang out with Melissa. Let's leave.
Yeah, let's be honest. Melissa sucks.
I mean, that's why I want more of her. It's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Listen, I can tell you why no one's coming to the sharing meetings.
Hmm.
I'm looking in the corner at their board game collection. They've got
Mm.
Twister Connect 4, and what looks like a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle. That's from
So
what
it's
I can
for
make out.
7-year-olds.
Yeah, this is a terrible collection.
They also have chess.
Oh, right. They did have a chess set, a weirdly ornate looking like wooden chess set too.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. There's I feel like people just sometimes have those where it's like, "Oh yeah, it's this like
Yeah,
actually good chess set that's just lying around the school from chess club or something and nobody
right.
wants it anymore. Let's just put it in the."
I actually have a really nice chess set that I don't know if it was like my mom's or something, and then when she moved, I took it,
Mm.
and I don't have anywhere to play it or take or set it up or do anything with it, but it's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. So if you ever learned how to play chess,
I know how to play
well,
chess.
I mean, like, yes, everybody knows the rules of chess.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know all the openings. I
Yeah,
haven't
no, I don't
memorized
either.
the Queen's Gambit.
No, of course not. I haven't either. I do have a very strong feeling that if you tried to learn how to play chess for real, you would immediately be like, "This is the worst fucking game in the world," and anyone who plays this, my, like, opinion of them just dropped, like, 200%.
I don't. I already think that.
Oh,
Like,
okay, okay. I wasn't sure, but yeah.
listen, I may not know the Queen's Gambit, but I watched it. Chess sucks. It's a stupid. This is. It's. We have time. I should talk about this.
Yeah, you should.
Chess. Chess. I think chess is only fun and only interesting if you aren't good at it. And chess players will disagree with me, obviously.
I don't know that they will. You know who I think would 100% agree with you is Bobby Fischer.
Maybe.
I think he would 100% be like, "You're right." Because I do agree. Like, every time I kind of look at chess a little bit, I'm like, it is pretty interesting how this works. Except the actual, like, process of, like, understanding how it works is just like, oh, so it actually sucks.
Well, essentially, like, to be a professional chess player on somewhere near that level, at some point it just boils down to memorizing moves and like knowing it's like being really good at Scrabble.
Mhm.
Like when you first if you're just playing Scrabble casually, it's like, I made a fun word. If you really play Scrabble, you're like, I made XI and QZ and that's a word. Look it up. I got 18,000 points. And you're like, fuck you. This is a math game now, not a word game, and it sucks.
I mean, I think high level Scrabble is far more interesting than high level chess because, like, you're not just it's not just memorizing all that stuff. Like, memorizing that is the basics of what you have to do to be strategic. And then, like, in chess, memorizing that is the basics of what you have to do to play the game long enough to get to the point where it's strategic. It's like, okay,
Mm,
if I don't memorize the first 20 moves, then I just lose. So you just have to do that. And then you
right.
can actually play real strategy.
Now, real chess players will be like, at least some of them will say, no, no, once you know the strategies, then it's the counters and the this and the that. It's actually good. They're stupid. Chess sucks. Chess is dumb. Unless you don't know how to play, then it's actually cool. But if you
Yeah.
learn to be good at it, you suck.
I mean, the most interested I've ever been for chess was like thinking about, and I've never actually tried playing for real, but like when I look at like blitz chess or something where it's like you have no time on the clock, so you're not allowed to be good.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
if you think about it, then you lose. So
Yeah, yeah. But you haven't watched The Queen's Gambit?
I have, yeah, I've watched
Oh,
it.
oh, you did. Okay, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, that you know, when you watch that show, it is kind of like, yeah, chess is kind of. It makes it seem like chess is fun.
yeah. Well, it's because they don't actually ever really talk about chess. They just like, Anya does her eyes and then they move the piece.
It's. I mean, it's like it's basically it's a shonen anime, right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same. Yeah, you don't need to like soccer to get into Inazuma or whatever that is. You know,
Damn, I don't know what that is.
I think it's an RPG video game. I think maybe there's an anime of it too, but same idea.
Sure.
Tennis Prince. How about
Okay,
that?
I feel a lot better now because I was going to reference Hikaru no Go, and then I was going to be like, I feel bad for knowing what that is, and you're going to make fun of me. But at least you said something I don't know what it is either. So now I'm
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
redeemed.
I didn't like what you said. I don't know what that is. So
Well, there you go. That's how I. How do you think I felt?
You know what the worst part of this is? You know who loves this conversation?
Yeah, no, I'm getting upset just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
and I don't want to even say it out loud.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
It's not
Ew.
Lane. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they do.
Were we talking about a show or something?
Uh, uh,
It's almost over.
question about this B plot. Because Rachel, they're trying to get info on Tobias. They didn't get info on Tobias. They
No.
found out that I guess the Yorkpool opening is not there anymore at the school. They
Mhm.
found out some exposition about what the sharing is that we knew from the books. We met Melissa, and now Cassie and Rachel are gonna head back to meet up with Jake and Marco at the mall. How does this B plot tie back into the A plot? Because I feel like normally when you're writing these things, you would either you would just have the two things resolve, or you would eventually bring the two characters together, the two sets together, and what happened in the B plot would kind of inform the A plot. And so with Cassie and Rachel coming back, it kind of feels like something I learned in that resolution should tie into this disk thing or help us with this disk thing. It really seems completely arbitrary that they decided to put that. They could have, like, that could have been the B plot to any episode. And the disc could be the A plot to any episode, or the B plot to any episode. Doesn't matter, really.
Yeah, neither of these things mattered, and also by the end of this episode, they don't matter. I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just an excuse to have the
Yeah.
characters run around.
it's just there. I mean, this we talk a lot about what is or isn't filler, and I really do think this is filler. Like,
Yes, I feel ya on that. But you
I
know
don't
what?
know.
I love it. I've
Yeah.
been saying I love it, so it's okay.
Filler is not always bad,
Yeah.
but in terms of plot, there's not much of consequence going on here. Nor is there much in terms of character either. So it's like
Yeah.
you're just getting just a bunch of silliness.
Yeah. But yeah, they meet up again at the mall. This is the part I referenced earlier where the controllers are like, "Oh, the tracker went back to the mall, which means they must have gathered because we all know Andalites gather at the mall." Similarly, in the beginning of this episode, Marco chastises Jake and is like, "We shouldn't discuss these things at the mall where someone might overhear." So of course, they go back to the same goddamn booth where he said that to discuss these things with Cassie and Rachel. Like, what are we doing? What is this?
Well, he just said, "Let's be careful around Tom," you know?
But they didn't even. All right,
Tom's not
whatever.
around now.
Okay, sure. They're out in
They
public.
love the mall. They love the mall. These kids can't stay away. If
But
this
I
was
do
taking
love
place
that they're in
today,
the mall.
yeah, this would be on TikTok now if they were doing this now. They'd be like, "We
that's
shouldn't be
true.
making TikToks about this, but we can't stop." That's how they do all their "My name is Jake." All their stories are all TikTok stories.
Yeah, they put like, I don't know, like a filter over their face and they're like, "I can't show you my real face or where I live. It's too dangerous."
Except it's an AI voice doing it.
Yeah. Right.
"I can't tell you my real name." And then halfway through they're like, "Now check out this trend." I can't reference a TikTok trend because it'll be dated in an hour.
Yeah, they'll do some dance or something.
A dance, yeah, a dance.
Yeah, why not?
It'll be like POV. POV, a yerk is about to get you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Now, this is the conversation Lane loves.
Yeah. Lane is losing it.
Yeah.
So Marco smells bad right now because he was in the
'cause he's
dumpster.
in the dumpster. He's got garbage all over him.
No entertaining the notion of maybe if he morphed back and forth, would that possibly get rid of the smell? I don't know if we ever solved that even in the books,
No clue.
but he's just smelly. Cassie does not like that he smells bad, but I thought maybe you wouldn't like that because Cassie should just be like, "Oh, you smell like me."
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't like that, but not because I was like, Cassie definitely shouldn't. I didn't like that because I was like, out of all of the characters here, there's one character who should be giving Marco shit for smelling bad.
Yeah.
It's Rachel.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Cassie, out of Rachel, Jake, and Cassie is the least likely to say something. Because that's just who she is.
Right. You're right.
Where is the Marco Rachel banter? I mean,
Listen,
you should be angry about this. This is the chance for their like back and forth, sharp tongue flirting type thing.
Yeah, Rachel could be like, "Oh, your stench," and Marco could be like, "I thought you liked the scent of a natural man." Too far?
Honestly,
Is that weird?
honestly, if you didn't say it in that voice, that's the sort of thing that would be in the books.
Yeah, that's why my voice was so good when I wrote that fan fiction.
Right.
I know KA's mind intimately.
I don't like
Older
what you're saying right
KA, I'm saying. Older KA. Not the one on our show. Anyway. I don't know. Where do we go from here? The episode's almost over.
Yeah, we start getting a chase scene through the mall
yeah.
because we
Sorry.
didn't even
I was just gonna point out that I was a little more forgiving in the first episode, and maybe even I'm still am a little forgiving. I'm gonna wait till they do another actual book, maybe, but
Mhm.
it is starting to become worrying. Cassie and Rachel, especially, but even especially Rachel, really are just what are they on this show?
Yeah.
They have no personalities at all.
Yeah. No, they still, this would have been, I think we were saying, is the next one going to be a girls episode? Is the next one going to be My Name is Rachel? And once again, it's Marco and Jake. And yeah, it does feel like the writers were like, I have a good idea what to do with Marco and Jake. These two actors have chemistry. Let's use this. I'm not sure what I'm doing with Rachel and Cassie. I don't know if these actresses work together. We'll see if something makes itself apparent, and I'm sure hoping it does.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. Rachel does have the insight of holding the disc and saying it's heavier than she remembers,
Yeah.
which is an insane way to figure out it's not the real disc. Like what? You
Yeah.
how many times did you hold it and you remember the weight of it?
Rachel's got that tactile muscle memory. Like, oh, this is 0.01 pounds heavier than I
I
remember
guess.
before.
I
That's an
guess
axe
so.
thing to do.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would be an next thing to do. God, I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Anyway, it's the fucking, they find out, they realize it's a tracker. Jake and Marco skirt over. Again, it's a comedy of errors type thing. Like, after we lost it multiple times and had to go through the dumpster and got carried away. Oh, it turns out this thing's not even the real disc. It's literally just a fake. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chase scene though through the mall now, where the three controllers, the two we saw earlier, and a third one, led by the lady with a big, fucking triangle thing in her hand that I love.
Well, is that not a Dracon beam? What is that?
I thought that was a tracker for the, like, that told her where the thing
Oh,
was.
you're right. It's like the aliens motion tracker. You're right. That makes more sense because I was like, wow, they're just running around in public in broad daylight with a fucking laser gun. I guess. I mean, it still makes you look like a freak, but
Yeah, I fucking love all the scare cut where it's like zoom in, cut to the same zoom in slow motion of them on, on like the little walkway
wait,
in the mall. I love all of that shit. This whole mall chase scene is making me really hyped for when they bring Axe in. I want Axe mall chase scenes.
but what are the guys holding? Wait, do they have Dracon beams? Is that what that
Oh,
is?
you know what? Maybe the guys had Dracon beams.
Yeah,
They have something.
because they're not. They look like flashlights, but they don't need flashlights. They've got some kind of weird like thing on the top of
Yeah.
them, like a sight.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the guys have Dracon beams, and yeah,
So they were
damn.
actually prepared to just vaporize some kids in the mall.
Well, they'd be Andalites, of course.
Oh, sure, but I mean, how do you explain that to the fucking mall cop?
So,
uh,
do Dracon beams then look like flashlights? Is that what I'm to take away from this?
I do not know. Maybe they took that beam part a little too literally, or maybe this was just a stand-in, and they're like, I don't know, they have some weapons, find some shit, put it in their hands.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. Uh Now we, at this point, we start overusing a different musical sting where it's just like, I don't even remember how it goes, but it's just like dum 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 bum bum or whatever. They use it like 10 times in 2 minutes. Like every time we cut from the Animorphs back to these controllers, they do the same thing. It's
Yeah.
great. It's cheesy. I love it. Going again with the stupid comedy shit. There's a bit where they're literally just like, what if we put the thing in the elevator? And the controllers are like, the signal is coming from upstairs or from up there, and then they go up the escalator. No, wait, the signal is coming from down, and then they go down the escalator. I was losing my mind.
Well, that's good. And then they have the Beast Mutant Beast Freak Part 2 cardboard standee uh
Mhm.
is what tricks them in the elevator holding the device.
Yeah,
They got him.
they got him.
And then they all laugh at the stupid controllers and the controllers just leave. They're like, I guess we
Yeah.
fucked up. Bye.
I do love when they go and the lady controllers is just like, "They're ours," and then once it reveals that they tricked them, she's just like, "Ah, come on." It's so good. She's just I love second favorite part after Chad controller. Bring back both of these controllers. Bring back the little girl controller who's evil too. Bring back them all.
Maybe they will.
I hope so.
What are they gonna do? Cast new people? Come on.
You're right. You're right.
And then that's it. Wait, so
Yeah.
so they still didn't get the disc back.
Yeah, they still do not have the disc back. They still don't know where Tobias is. I guess we have like some scenes where Jake and Marco were like, "We're the boys, haha," and they do some fist bumps and
Yeah, Marco
they
says you wouldn't get it, kind of like the Joker.
right, yeah. And then the final shot we see Tobias the Hawk is watching them.
So there's
And
a tease.
yeah, it's a tease. Again, I I cannot imagine the kid who doesn't know. Like, I don't know the kid who is watching this show who doesn't at least have friends who are into the books who are like, Tobias gets trapped as a hawk.
Well, and don't you kind of like you already know he turned into a hawk, so you know
Mhm.
that that's him as a hawk now.
Right, but you
So
don't know that he's trapped. Like
right.
maybe he is being sneaky and mysterious and just spying on them.
Yeah, yeah, that's possible. It's just you don't know what's going on with him, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's dumb.
It is dumb. I don't know. I don't get that. Yeah, uh strange episode. I don't like very generic B plot, A plot that doesn't mean anything. Just completely baffling. This disc still means nothing. It always meant nothing. They're just running around it. As you said, ultimate MacGuffin.
I hope it
Tobias
never gets
disappears and just
explained. I
that would
hope
be good.
the whole show we never find out.
I would think that was very funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tobias, they tease what happened to Tobias. He's just not here. We don't move forward anything. Lot of human beings running around the mall. Almost no animal morphing, and we don't see the animal morphing that does happen on screen. Just all of the like it's just like a series of, comedy shots of this disc bouncing around. It really is like the most waste of time. What are we doing ever type of thing. I don't really get what they were doing here. This is Scott Peters. What the fuck is Scott Peters doing here?
Ron
On the
Oliver
other
directed.
hand, I loved it. I loved how campy it was. I loved how stupid it was. I want more campy, stupid human controller plots. Give me that.
Well, what the answer to what they were doing here, I think, was just, hey, we need to make another episode. Okay, you have
Yeah.
this long. Okay, see you in a week.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Like,
nothing. What they were doing was nothing.
the advantage
You
that
could have
this
made
episode
any episode.
has.
Yeah.
Yes, what's good about it, what makes it good to me, is that it's not based on source material. So they are free to kind of do something that feels like an Animorphs plot, but they aren't
Mm,
beholden to a book story and they don't have to cut things or try to fill time or speed things up to make it all work together or whatever they usually do. That especially as a fan, you're watching it and it's hard not to just go, "Oh, they didn't do that like the book. Why didn't they do this part?"
mhm,
So I think that's an advantage. I think that's one thing that makes it good. And I do think it gets that feeling across. Like we actually do get to see the mall. We're in the
mhm.
mall an episode. So that's anamorphy. The sharing. We get to see the sharing. We see controllers with beams. We technically see morphs occur.
Yeah.
It's
I would
there.
agree. Yeah. Yeah, it feels anamorph. The plots do feel anamorphy, even if the Rachel and Cassie are still bland.
Yeah.
Like you're right that the whole sharing meeting thing that could have been a chapter in an Animorphs book. Like one chapter would have worked. The whole running around the mall could have been, one of those. Sometimes you read an Animorphs book and you're like, how come they stretched this stupid thing out for like 7 chapters, 10 chapters at the beginning and then crunched like an entire book's worth of stuff into 4 chapters at the end? This could have been that 7 to 10 chapters at the beginning. Like all of their shenanigans did feel
Mm.
like the kind of shenanigans the Animorphs would get up to. So I think it was a success in that sense. And also, as you were saying, the fact that this isn't based on source material, that is encouraging because it tells me that they don't feel beholden to source material, and I think that that's probably a good thing that they are willing to try other stuff, especially since I was saying if you can't do the source material, do something else. It seems like they're willing to do it, and it seems like maybe they can, uh, even if they haven't figured out yet how to make it matter that they did.
Indeed. Yeah, that the whole ape not the disc part, but the dealing with a pet store and having to morph and whatever,
Yeah.
that easily could be that's very reminiscent of the Amazon cafe and price cut Polly. It's that kind of a thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Um
The
like if
lobsters in the mart mini mart.
Yeah, it feels like there's not a direct book they took from, but I feel like there's a few elements of different books in this episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's good to do that kind of thing also because the cast can get a little more acclimated. So can the writers and producers. You kind of know what you're doing before you are like, well, now let's tackle the actually important shit. I
Mhm.
guess I don't know if that's gonna pay off the way I just said it could, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I think for me, this episode is improving my outlook on the series. I enjoyed it, and it's making me hopeful because if they can kind of keep some of the campy vibes that I loved here and like actually make it into a plot that matters and work like that's what they need, right? Like when they're trying to do just the plot of the invasion, it it doesn't quite work because 'cause they're trying to do the invasion and they can't. And when they did their own thing, it doesn't quite work because it doesn't matter and doesn't tie into the main plot. So if they can just make a main plot and then do their own thing, I don't know. I feel like there's opportunities here.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm optimistic in a way that I legitimately wasn't before.
I didn't find this episode quite as gut busting as you did. I do think it was more fun. I think the first 3 all felt much more like a Goosebumps episode. They felt kind of dark and weird
Mhm,
and not entirely pleasant to be spending time in that world.
mhm,
Whereas this one felt even just the visually, it was brighter, clearer. It was more engaging and welcoming to watch.
mhm.
Um, so on some level, I think maybe that's part of it. Is I don't even just subconsciously, it's just more pleasant
Yeah.
to be part of. But yeah, so I have a feeling. My hunch is that we're gonna go right back to book episode, and it's gonna be the same business as
Could
usual
be.
from the first 3. But maybe I'm wrong.
Could be, yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I'm wondering, you're saying that, and I didn't really think about that, but I'm wondering if that's not something because I do think I was sort of criticizing the show for not doing a good enough job being kind of, I don't know, dark and upsetting and getting the feel of it right. Um and you were like, well, it can only go so far because it's a kids show. And I wonder if I'm not as upset here because it doesn't even feel like they're trying to do that here.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
not at all. Yeah.
Uh, Either way, I do. As much as I liked this, I was like, John might hate this because I'm not gonna pretend that the reasons that I liked this aren't similar to the reasons that I love my talking dog movies.
Oh
Eh,
God.
Like, I don't know. You can say that this episode was bad, and I'll be like, I'm not sure that's wrong, but I
I
liked it.
I don't think it's bad. I we have the same criticisms, which is that it is just filler that amounts to nothing, and a lot of the plot decisions are just there's no logic to it. It's bizarre. The characters aren't all really that strong, but it's like, you know, it's kind of fun to watch. That's it. That's really
That's
it.
all I need.
Yeah, it's enough for now, and we'll see if they can carry that forward or build on that energy.
Yeah. It's enough for now is like the perfect summation.
Right. Yeah, it's also just again it's confusing because I still don't know what this show is yet.
Hmm.
Even though we've done 4 episodes, it really feels like we've done 2 episodes because the
Yeah.
first 3 were just one book. So I'm like, so what are we is this an anomaly is the question. Are we going right back to books from now on, or is there gonna be a mix? Are you really gonna diverge all the time? I don't know. What is it gonna be more lighthearted and silly like this? I don't know what's gonna happen.
All good questions, and we will have more answers about that coming up next week, I believe.
Yeah. And you can let us know what your questions and answers are. theyerkyboys@gmail.com, or follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/theyerkyboys. $5 a month. You get a bonus episode every week. We talk about something different. You're not going to want to miss this week's episode because we're diving into a hugely long requested sort of a fan favorite show of Animorphs fans. You probably know it if you're familiar with the Animorphs in any capacity. That's Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't want to miss that.
Yeah, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, the 2000 TV series. That's going to be pretty cool. If you want to follow me online, you can at my website, jonathanessis.com, or there's links to our socials and stuff in the episode show notes.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next time when we'll be talking about season 1, episode 5, Between Friends, on The Yerky Boys.